Herkese iyi pazarlar. Hoş geldiniz arkadaşlar. Gene Düz Dünya AKADEMİSİ'nin her pazar olduğu gibi pazarda canlı yayınında bir aradayız. Bu akşam dün akşamın devamı olan gene Kaliforniya'da Ali Duman Düz Dünya AKADEMİSİ üyesi Ali Duman'ın mühendislerimizden biri olan FLATOBERFEST Düz Dünya Festivali'nden gerçekleştirdiği canlı yayınla gene bir aradayız. Ama aralarda da Düz Dünya Akademisi ekip arkadaşlarımızın özellikle son güneş tutulması ile ilgili tespitleri ve genel paylaşımları olacak. Ben herkese tekrar hoş geldiniz demek istiyorum. Hemen çabucak hatırlatayım. Lütfen sosyal medya platformlarında Düz Dünya Akademisi'ni Telegram'da özellikle hala paylaşmadıysanız, hala takip etmiyorsanız lütfen şiddetle öneriyorum, bizimle olun. Saat gece 12'den itibaren Kaliforniya'da gerçekleşen FLATOBERFEST Düz Dünya Festivali'nden Ali Duman bizimle bağlanıncaya kadar ben önce Yusuf Bey'i size vermek istiyorum. Bu 14 Ekim'de gerçekleşen güneş tutulması ile ilgili bazı detay bilgiler vereceğini söylemiştiniz. Uygunsanız buyurun lütfen.
Hayırlı akşamlar. Teşekkürler Aysun Hanım. Bütün arkadaşlarımıza hoş geldiniz diyorum. Ali Duman abime de sonsuz minnettarız. Bize öncelikle güneş tutulmasını canlı yayınlattı. Ayrıca NASA'nın hilesini çok net bir şekilde görmemizi sağladı. Eğer isterseniz hemen başlayacağım ben. Birkaç şey tespit ettim. Tabii bunun linki de açıklamalarda var. NASA'nın 1 saat 50 dakikalık güneş tutulması canlı yayınıyla alakalı linkti bu. Biz oradan size ufak birkaç bir şey göstereceğiz. Sizler de kendiniz lütfen girip bakın. Emin olun bu söylediğimiz şeylerden. Gönderdim hocam ekranı. Teşekkürler. Tam ekran yapıyorum. Şimdi bizim yapmış olduğumuz yayın düzgün bir şekilde kamerayla çekim yaptık. Sol üstten sağ aşağıya doğru bir güneş tutulması NASA gösterdi bize. Bizde ise tam tersi. Burada aynalama yaptıkları açık ve net ortada. Bununla ilgili ne gizlediklerini bilmiyoruz ama daha başka bir sürü şey var. Onları da sırasıyla bakın size göstereceğim. Öncelikle burada şuna dikkat etmenizi istiyorum. Bu Kerrville'daki Texas'taki güneş tutulmasında geri sayım vardı. Lütfen dikkatli dinleyelim bu geri sayımı. Evet, şimdi bakın burada saniye 27 ve 2-3 saniye sonra arkadaki halk geri sayım yapacak. Bakın görün. Duyduğunuz gibi geri sayımı halk arkada yaptı. Ama hala tutulmaya ekranda gördüğünüz gibi 18 saniye var görünüyor. Bu da tutulmayı geç verdiklerinin bir göstergesidir. NASA görüntüyü geç veriyor. Oradaki halk bağırıyor. Burada ise geç veriliyor. Canlı yayın olduğu için bunu gözden kaçırmışlar. Daha doğrusu gözden kaçırmışlar değil de burada bizim ikinci tespit ettiğimiz şeyi aslında göreceğiz. Burayı kısıyorum şimdi. Buraya kadar bir sorun var mı arkadaşlar?
Hayır, yok.
Evet. Az önce gördük bir hareket. Onu şimdi size kendi imkanlarımla çok güzel bir şekilde göstereceğim. Bakın. Tam güneşin tutulduğu anda dikkatinizi çektik daha önce ama burada ben size bu görüntüyü kare kare göstermeye çalışacağım. Bu da benim bir tekniğim var. Kendi imkanımla. Kare kare ilerliyorum şu anda. Bu hileyi sizlere piksel piksel göstereceğiz kısmetse. Hiçbir karesini kaçırmayacağız arkadaşlar. Biraz uzun sürdü ama şimdi gelecek.
Evet, ben bayağı bir zorlanmıştım. Evet, sen yakaladın. Kare
Evet.
kare.
Yalnız tekrardan ben bütün kareleri göstermek istiyorum. O yüzden kusura bakmayın. Evet, şimdi daha iyi olacak gibime geliyor.
Tabii oynatıcıyla ilgili bir sorun da olabiliyor ama sen bu
Yok,
işin tekniğini...
şimdi birkaç ekran açtım arkada. Diğer hileleri de saniyeleriyle gösterebilmek için. Ben acele ettim. Acele etmemem lazım. Çünkü o saniyeden kısa süren bir şey.
Yani piksel piksel benim yakalayamadığımı yakaladın ve bize gösteriyorsun.
Şimdi geliyor.
Evet,
Evet.
harika.
Evet, bakın. Şurada ilk karede şöyle bir şey oluştu. Gördüğünüz gibi. Bu arada bunlar zannedersem büyük tam tutulma bekliyorlardı. Ona göre bir animasyon yerleştirdiler. Zaten 18-19 saniye geç görüntünün gelmesi ondan kaynaklanıyor gibime geliyor. Bir sonraki kareye geçiyorum. Yine aynı. Bir sonraki kare. Bakın. Görüyor musunuz? Arkadaşlar. Lütfen teyitleşir misin benimle Şengün Hocam?
Evet, gayet net gözüküyor.
Bir sonraki kare. Bakın. Bu da bir sonraki kare. Bir sonraki kare. Bir sonraki kare. Bir sonraki kare. Bakın buralara kadar her şey ortada. Bir sonraki kare. Bakın. Şuralara bakar mısınız? Her yerde bu oynamanın etkilerini görebiliyoruz.
Evet.
Bakın. Kare kare ilerliyorum şu anda. Tek tek. Biraz sıkıcı gibi oluyor ama aslında çok değerlidir bunu yakalayıp bu şekilde oynatabilmek. Bakın hala o bir saniyeden kısa süren animasyon ve bitti. Evet. Şimdi iki tane bir şey yakaladık burada. Birincisi senkronizasyon bozuk. Bu da görüntüyü ekrana geç verdiklerini gösteriyor. Zannedersem alelacele o arada bunu yerleştirdiler. Bu da 20 saniyelerini aldı. Buradaki hile bu kadar. Bir de bu Kerryville'daki yapılmış olan yayındı. Bir de şurası var. Bunu kapatayım. Evet. Bu da New Mexico'da, Albuquerque'da. Bakın burada tam güneş tutulması olmuş. Her tarafa bakıyorlar. Yalnız şuradaki hileyi size göstermek istiyorum. Bakın. Bakın arkadaşlar şu aşağıda ne var? Etrafı karanlık gösteriyorlar.
Oo.
Bu kimin dikkatini çekti? Bak her yerde ateşler yanıyor falan. Adamlar gece olacak diye kendilerini ayarlamışlar. Ama halkalı tutulma olduğundan dolayı hiçbir yer kararmadı ama ne hikmetse buradaki görüntüde bakın etrafı karartmışlar.
Böyle bir şey yaşanmadı ki ama Yusuf.
İşte buyurun. Bakın live. İnsanları gösteriyor.
Çok enteresan. Yani ben
Öyle bir
özellikle
şey ama abi film çeviriyor adamlar. Film.
Şimdi oraya da geleceğim. Oraya da geleceğim. Yani bakın burada ne gösteriyorlar? Güya etraf karardı. Bu başka bir açıdan. Bu o anki gerçek açı büyük ihtimalle ama onu oraya yerleştirmişler. Bu da başka bir videonun arızasıydı bence. Şurada bir şey var. Bakalım. Pardon. Şimdi bakın. Artemis programı ile alakalı bir şeyler gösterecekler. Bakın. Gördüğümüz bir güneş değil mi? Her zaman NASA'nın gösterdiği güneş. Bakın ama sağ altta ne yazıyor?
Çok güzel.
Gördünüz mü arkadaşlar? Hani biz sürekli olarak bunların bize animasyon gösteriyor dememiz, CGI görüntüler üretiyor dememiz boşuna değil. Bizim bu isyanımızı, bu uyandırma servisimizi bunlar artık göze aldılar, dikkate aldılar ve bize bakın burada aşağıda ne yazıyorlar? Animasyon. Bakın yıldızlar da etrafta uçuşuyor. Devam ettiriyorum. Bakın. Şimdi şurada animasyon yazmasa, daha önceki gösterdikleri ayın etrafında dolanan uyduyla bir farkı var mı bu görüntünün? Bakın, bakın, bakın. İşte ayın arkasından çekilmiş dünya.
Hatta vatandaşın biri bir zamanlar bunu gerçek görüntü diye bize sunuyordu değil mi?
Evet, evet. Bakın ama bakın burada ne yazıyor? Animasyon yazıyor. Devam ediyorum. Bu gerçek görüntüyü de animasyon yazmışlar. Bakın. Tamam, bu animasyon.
Evet.
Bu da animasyon.
Evet. Bu kadar uğraşır mısın animasyon için? Bak bunlar
Bakın şuradan çıkan havaları görüyor musunuz? Güya yön vermek için. Bunun birebirini zaten siz sürekli gösteriyorsunuz. ISS'ti, uzaydı, ayrılan parçaydı. Uyduları uzay boşluğuna salmaydı. Bakın. Bakın. Hepsinde animasyon yazıyor. Aha, bakın. Ya şurada animasyon yazmasa bu sahte bir görüntü mü sizce? NASA'nın gösterdikleri görüntüler arasında bakın işte dünya, masmavi, bulutlar her şey dizilmiş. Camlar bile bakın orijinal cam yerleştirilmiş. Animasyon değil ki bu. Ama sen buraya animasyon yazmışsın. Bütün hilenin
bize gerçek diye sunmuyorlar mıydı Yusuf?
sunuyorlar.
Evet. Şimdi
Bize,
animasyon oldu.
şu anda animasyon diye bize gösteriyorlar. Bakın. Tamam. Bu animasyon. Bu da animasyon. Ama bu tür görselleri animasyon değil diye bize sunuyorlardı.
Evet doğru.
Bakın. Şu aydaki.
Simülasyon dedi zaten.
Evet. Şimdi simülasyon diyorlar. Daha önceden bu görüntüleri simülasyon diye vermiyorlardı.
Evet.
Gerçek
Bence
diye
Yusuf
veriyorlar.
Bey bunu yapma sebepleri mesela Düz Dünya Akademisi gibi bu süreci mesela şu anda Kaliforniya'da gerçekleşen Düz Dünya Festivali'nde de bu konuya ilgi duyan ve akademik anlamda da donanımlı, karşı içerik üretemeyecekleri insanların artık bunu deşifre etmesinden kaynaklanıyor diye düşünüyorum. Alanları kalmadı. Yani biz atıyorduk, işte birileri de tutuyordu diyemiyorlar artık. Tutan yok. Hepsi
Evet.
ortada.
Bir de ISS'e bağlanıyorlar. Güneş tutulması canlı yayınında. ISS'ten görüşme yapıyorlar. Bakın. Bakın. Niye bunda animasyon yazmıyorsunuz?
Bu gerçek zaten Yusuf. Niye animasyon yazsın ki?
Tamam. Bak.
Gerçek değil mi bu? Güneşin yanına gitmiş çekmiş. Bak boyutlara baksana güneşin boyutuna.
Maşallah.
Yani.
Ne kadar güzel patlıyor ya.
Devam ediyorum bakın. Bakın güneşin üstündeki lekeyi nasıl hareketli bir hale getirmişler ve insanlara gösteriyorlar ve animasyon değil diyorlar. Gerçek diyorlar. Yani animasyonu ve gerçeği insanlara sunuyoruz diyorlar. Yani animasyon sunduk diye bu yalanı da gerçekmiş gibi yutturmaya çalışıyorlar. Algı yapıyorlar.
Evet, yorum
Bakın.
geldi. Doğum lekesi diyor. Doğru söylüyor Süleyman İşer.
Evet.
Evet.
Doğrudur. Burada bir tane daha var çünkü. Şöyle bunu da büyüteyim. Bakın. Bakın. Burada da normalde hani animasyon, madem ki sen doğru söyleyen bir kurumsun, değil mi? Oraya animasyon yazmayı bildin, becerebildin animasyon yazmayı. Peki burada niye animasyon yazmıyorsun? Bir de bak ayın yüzünü de bize gösteriyor. Gökhan hocamız o kadar sene ayı çekti. Yani ayın yüzünü görme şansı var mı güneş tutulması esnasında? Bakın. Daha neler var bakın. Bakın.
İyi ki NASA var ya.
Bak bu gerçek. Bakın. Bunları sen göstereyim. Bak şu kenarlardaki güneşte güya patlama oluyormuş. Bakın. O yüzden veriyor. Ay da görünüyor.
Naylon çarşaf var.
Ay da
Ama
görünüyor bu arada.
Yusuf, bunun animasyon olduğunu 5 yaşındaki çocuk anlıyor. Sen her yere animasyon yazmak zorunda değiller ki. Yani
Peki.
sen neyi açığa çıkartıyorsun Allah aşkına?
Neden daha önce hiç animasyon yazmadılar? Neden burada bazısına yazıp bazısına yazmadılar? Devam ediyorum bakın. Bir de dikkat edin gözünüzü yakmayın diyor. Bak. Bak. Görüyor musunuz? Yine şu kenardaki şeylere bakın.
Güneş patlamaları.
Hala patlama var algısı yapıyorlar.
Evet.
Animasyon yazmıyorlar. Niye? Çünkü bu gerçek bir görüntü. Algısıyla gerçek oluyor. Bakın. Tamam bu ışıldama var. Işıldama var ama. Tam kapanmamışken. Bakın. Her şeyi gösteriyor. Tüm açıklığıyla. Wow.
Evet.
Hani bu animasyon. Tutun bunu inceleyin bu görüntüyü. Bununla ilgili uzun görüntüler de var. NASA'ya ait. Geçmişine bakın. Güneşteki patlamalar diye araştırın göreceksiniz. Ve
o son andaki ışıldamaları yapmaya çalışıyorlar. Böyle patlamaymış gibi yedirmeye çalışıyorlar. Öyle bir kurnazlık sezdim.
Evet. Bak şimdi bak. Bak. Hop. Dikkatli de olun diyor. Gözünüze zarar vermeyin. Şimdi bir şey daha vardı. Onu da bulabilirsem. Yine biz demeyeyim de düz dünyacıların ortaya çıkardığı ve milletin gözüne soktuğumuz bir hususu daha bunlar meşrulaştırmaya çalışıyorlar. O da bu. Evet. Bakın. Biz hep diyoruz uydu yok. Uzay denen boşluk yok. Ve bu boşlukta uçan hiçbir uydu yok. Varsa balonla gönderilmiş uydular var diyoruz.
Evet.
Bakın burada ne yapıyorlar? Yani güneş tutulmasından önce 1 saat önce yayına giriyorlar. Bir sürü belgesel çekmişler. İnsanların beynini uyuşturmak için. Ve bakın onların içinde ne var?
Balon.
Hatırladınız mı bunu arkadaşlar?
Helyum balonları.
Evet.
Helyum balonuyla biz uydu yolluyorlar demiyor muyuz? Hatta güya Çin'in balonunu düşürdüler. Uydu balonunu. Bakın.
Ya dünyada en büyük helyum rezervi NASA'dadır zaten.
Bakın, eskiden şu Life NASA yazan NASA şirketinin herhangi böyle bir balon uçulduğuna dair bilgi var mıydı?
Yok.
Bana denk gelmedi.
Yok.
İçinizden bilen var mı?
Şimdi yakalanmadık aya yapıyorlar. Biz zaten
He.
paylaşacağız şey yapıyorlar.
Şimdi ortaya bunu atıyorlar. Evet ya biz bunu da yapıyorduk. Bu alıştırma. Bakın şu birkaç saniyelik görüntü alıştırma. Yarın bunun üzerinden gidecekler. Uzaya göndermek çok masraflı. Artık balonla hallediyoruz diyecekler. Bakın.
Yusuf bir sürü uydu fırlatma hesapları bilmem neler. Bunları böyle paylaşıyorlardı astronomi şeyle. Yok
Bakın
o uyduların hepsi işte roketle fırlıyordu yukarıya hepsi.
Evet.
Evet.
Bakın burada
O
da
zaman
var.
masraflı olduğunu düşünemediler.
Biraz
Sıvama
daha
kısmı
izleyelim. Bakın biraz daha izleyelim.
So they'll fly from New Mexico to prove their science or even just collect science at a shorter duration. And then for missions that are a little more risky, we'll go out to PMRF in Hawaii.
So can you describe to me what launch day is like?
It's an incredible feeling, right? So you see the balloon be released, you hear the rustle of the fabric and the rush of the wind as it stands up. You see the balloon be released on the...
Şuradaki ışıldamaya bakar mısınız arkadaşlar?
Gördüm.
Yansıma bakın. Burada bir kubbemsi yapı görünüyor. O önemli değil yani de. Bakın bizim bahsettiğimiz uydu yolluyorlar dediğimiz sistemi buyurun burada gösteriyorlar. Bakın.
It just gives you chills every time you watch it. It's a really great feeling.
That sounds incredible. So how many of these balloon experiments have been sun focused or eclipse focused?
So about 8 to 10% of our portfolio is heliophysics missions. One of the ones that stands out in my mind is when I got to see launch in 2019 from New Mexico.
Arkadaşlar bir tane PowerPoint'te gösteri hazırlarken sizden bu görüntüleri istemiştim ben hatırlarsanız. Uğur, Gökhan.
Evet.
Bunlar saklı görüntülerdi ve şimdi artık hani bu ISS ile ilgili bir şeyler hesaplamalar, kitaplamalar yaptığım zamandı ve Google'la ilgili hatırlarsanız. Şimdi artık kendileri paylaşıyorlar. Yani işte yukarıya gönderdik, orada monte ettik roketle. Roketle monte ettik 7760 metre bölü saniye hız nasıl verdiniz? Yani dolmuş iter gibi ittiniz mi bunu yukarıda? Biz diyorduk ya bunları balonla gönderiyorlardı. Şimdi ortaya çıktı her şey yani.
Devam ediyorum.
Evet.
Bakın.
Görüntüler var elimizde hocam.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Evet.
Ya bir de Yusuf bu tutulmayı takip eden onlarca uydu var yukarıda ya. Onlara ne diyeceksin peki? Hadi onlara da bir şey söyle. Niye söyleyemiyorsun? Neden? Neden söyleyemiyorsun? Al sana uydu.
Bak ne güzel yakalamış.
Bir saniye. Sen bunu ekranda tut hocam. Ben bir şey göstereceğim şimdi. Onu atlamışım. Vallahi
öyle
atladım.
Mi?
Evet. Bak şimdi. Sen onu görüntü olarak bulamadın değil mi?
Görüntü olarak bulamadım evet.
Tamam.
Var mı? Görüntüsü var mı?
Birkaç saniye bana müsaade et. Birkaç saniye sadece.
Hadi bize ispatla. Yani.
Mavi boncuğun üstüne pekmez dökülmüş bir damla.
Buyur. NASA ateş çemberi tutulmasının dünya dışı görünümünü paylaşıyor diyor.
Tamam.
19 Ekim 2023. Neymiş? Caroline Collins Peterson Evren Bugün. Kaynak neymiş? 14 Ekim 2023'te Discover uydusundan yakalandı NASA. Buyur al. Buna ne diyeceksin?
Hadi
buyur.
Bakalım. Buyurun açıklayın bakalım şimdi.
Hadi açıkla bunu. Ne demiş? Amerika Birleşik Devletleri'ndeki tutulmayı izleyenler geçen hafta sonu ayın güneş ile hizalanıp halkalı bir tutulma oluşturmasını izleme şansı buldu. Ah. Ne diyeceksin? Yakından göstereyim mi göremediysen?
Şimdi ben bir görüntü arıyorum. Ekrana bakamıyorum.
Tamam sen onu ara. Al ben sana yakından göstereyim.
Ben izledim Yusuf'un söylediği görüntüyü. Video halinde vardı. Daha da komik yani. Berbat bir şey.
Evet işte. Tutulmanın görüntüsü. Buyur.
Şengün sen resim gösteriyorsun. Biz videosunu göstereceğiz.
Tamam. Onu da gösterelim.
Bekle sabırlı.
Bu iş artık açığa çıksın arkadaşlar lütfen. Yani bu NASA'ya bu kadar yüklenmeyin. Bakın adamlar göstermiş. Buyur.
Sen
hani
ne zaman NASA'cı oldun?
Konuşuyorsunuz ama delil sunamıyorsunuz. Lütfen bakın. delille geldim size. Yani burada delil varken lütfen sadece konuşarak bunu ispatlamayı denemeyin yani. Olmaz ki. Buyur. Ah. Bu ne?
Benim böyle delil yapmam 30 saniye mi yine desem bilirsin.
Sonuçta ortada emek var. Yani. Buyur. Hah. Öyle balon göstermeyle falan olmuyor. Bak uydu görüntüsü bu. Bak nereden çekmiş bir de. Şu an güneş tutulması oluyor. Uydunun yerine bak. Bir de çektiği görüntüye bak. Ondan sonra da itiraz ediyorsunuz. Ah.
Şimdi dünkü yayını izlemeyenler yanlış anlayacak. Biraz söylesek mi? Yani aynı anda nasıl bu kadar alan kapalı olabiliyor? Oradan
Arkadaşlar
veriyor.
kimsenin bak bu NASA bile olsa aklınızla oynamasına müsaade etmeyin. Bakın. CGI ile adamı 8 parçaya bölüyorlar. Ondan sonra tekrar topluyorlar, yapıştırıyorlar. Bir daha filme devam ediyor o adam. İbrahim Tatlıses'i falancaya aktarıyorlar. Ona film yaptırıyorlar. Bir de türkü söyletiyorlar. Arkadaşlar lütfen bakın. Buna inanan varsa gelsin hep beraber konuşalım. Şu görüntüye inanan varsa. Ve bu basında çıkıyor. Bütün sosyal medyada çıkıyor. Niye? NASA söyledi.
Evet hocam. Şimdi
hazır mısın?
Çok garip gelen bir şey var mesela.
Şimdi
deniz kısımları
izleyiciler-
kapkara ya burada. Bulutların üstü nasıl şey olabiliyor? Açık bu kadar kalabiliyor. O şimdi
Tamam.
dikkatimi çekti.
Şimdi ben izleyicilerin Şengün hocamızın paylaştığı görüntüye dikkatli bakmalarını istiyorum. Çünkü ben de bir video paylaşacağım.
Bu arada video paylaşmayacaksın. Ali Duman Amerika'dan geldi, kapıyı çaldı. Ben onu içeriye aldım. Ali merhaba.
Merhaba arkadaşlar.
Nasılsın? İyi misin? Kolay gelsin.
Çok sağ ol. İyiyim.
Okay, yes. Finally. Thanks, guys. Righty-ho. So, Navigating the Matrix. Anybody seen this version online? This online? One or two? Yeah, okay. Well,
Dave Murphy herhalde sahneye çıkacak şimdi.
The original talk was like 2 hours.
Efendim?
It's ballooned to 5 hours.
Dave Murphy mi sahneye çıkacak?
Dave Murphy, evet, şu anda sahnede.
There's new stuff in it.
Harika.
So, yeah, don't worry, you've not seen it all before. So, Navigating the Matrix. So, anyone who's seen the film The Matrix, humans are grown and they're plugged into this computer system which feeds their reality to them, bypassing their senses. Okay? And, you know, when that happens, you're essentially locked into a prison of your mind. Okay? It's an inescapable prison. Well, that's really a bit loud. It's an inescapable prison because, you know, if your senses tell you that, you know, your eyes tell you there's a wall in front of you, and you know, you speak and you can hear the sound reflecting off the walls. You can reach out and touch, and you can, you know, feel the walls. Doesn't matter you're outside in the middle of a field, right? You're a prisoner. Okay. I was looking for a really good mime, but this is all I could find. So it's doing its best. But yes, he could be out in the middle of the field, but you know, he's trapped in a prison, invisible prison. So we've been trapped into, or born into a matrix, into a world where they use language to reinterpret our reality. Okay, so your signals come in through your senses, they hit a layer of language, and it gets reinterpreted into a different sort of world, a fake world. Okay, so before I go into how this works, I'm going to have to answer the question who they are. Okay, who are they? We keep hearing this. Oh, a bit loud. Yeah, we keep hearing about you know, this mysterious they. Who are they? Well, for this you need to go all the way back to the Old Testament. There's more to it, but we'll start in Genesis 6. Genesis 6:4. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same, sorry, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Okay, so we're talking about the fallen angels. So 200 angels wandered down to earth. Okay, and they came down to a place called Mount Hermon, which right today is, well, it was always known as a forbidden place. And today it still is. There's a UN base on top of that mountain that nobody can get near, okay? It's still a forbidden place today. And so one of their offspring, because they came down to have sex with women, and one of their offspring was called the Nephilim. They are the first generation of giants, okay? And they were wicked, cunning, and they were man-eaters, right? And essentially their task was to corrupt the human genome, basically corrupt the bloodline. But you've heard this story before, over and over again, but you probably don't know you've seen it, okay? Whenever you've seen this, what? See stars falling from heaven, coming down to the paramount. Yeah? So there are 22 stars around there. That matches up with the 22 chiefs of the fallen angels, right? And when Paris was the prime meridian, I think it's Greenwich now, but when Paris was the prime meridian, Mount Hermon was at 33.33 degrees longitude, 33.33 degrees latitude. So you can probably figure out where we got that number, you know, but that number keeps popping up. Also, maybe you've seen this film. Anybody seen this film? Anyone seen this film? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's a long day. Yeah. So yes, City of Angels. That's the story of fallen angels. An angel falls in love with a woman and comes down to earth to be with her. Yeah. It's the same story. Anybody seen this? Well, these are the mighty heroes of old. Yeah. You've got a god here. Right? You've got Natasha Romanoff. Well, Natasha, I believe, means, I think it's born on Christmas Day. You'll find there's a lot of gods that were born on the 25th of December. Yeah? You've got Hawkeye. You know, have you ever thought, why amongst the superheroes is there an archer? Okay? Well, Apollo was an archer. Orion, Osiris, they're all archers, they're all hunters. Okay? You've got the giant at the back there, and you've got the Iron Man, which is the god Hephaestus, or Vulcan, god of metalwork. Okay? You're supposed to worship these guys, these are the heroes of old. So let's have a close look at these Nephilim. So I'm going to look at some of the traits of the Nephilim, right? And the first and obvious one is giantism. Right? Giantism still happens in, today. We've got, I was doing a search, and funnily enough, there wasn't a single American basketball player that came up when I was looking for giants. Yeah, not one. Yeah, but some of those guys are, pushing 8 feet. Yeah, but so you can see, even in the world today, we have giants still walking around. If you look at the Guinness Book of Records, you'll see that the giants they portray there are all sort of kind of slightly misshapen, have to walk with a cane. Yeah, anyone seen that? Yeah? But no, you look around and you'll find anatomically correct, very powerful beings walking around. Look at one down here. I wonder who wears the pants in that relationship. So the next trait is thick fingers and toes. Again, this happens more often than you realise. I had this picture on my hard disk for ages and I didn't know why. It took me a while to look at it and go, oh, they've all got 6 fingers. Yeah. Most of the time when people are born with 6 fingers in the West, they literally cut the thing off. Okay, so most people don't realise it's happening, but yes, It's happening more often than we realise. I haven't got much to say about the next one. More than one row of teeth. Still happens today. It's quite rare, but it still happens. All of these are talked about as mutations. They're not mutations, they're genetic traits. Because the Nephilim mixed with humanity. And they kept mixing, okay? And the more they mixed, the more human-like they became, okay? So these are genetic traits. And most of us have got Nephilim DNA in us, okay? So the next genetic trait is excess body hair. Okay. I'm sorry, we've got some hairy ones in the back there. Yeah? Again, they call this a disease. It's not really a disease. Oh, thank you. That's useful. Yeah, it's not really a disease. It's actually, again, a genetic trait. There are people walking around, well, you wouldn't notice because they've shaved all the way down to the collar line and everything, but take their shirt off, gorilla time, yeah? So the next one, an extra vertebrae in the back or a tail, yeah? Again, in this culture, when a baby is born with a tail, they rip that thing off really quickly. In other cultures, they leave it on. And yeah, you can see the baby right there with the tail. Again, there's a lot more of that going on than you realise. So the next one, I'm hoping you're not going to start throwing chairs at me. Okay? It is skin lacking melanin. Okay? Skin lacking the protection of melanin is susceptible to the sun. There isn't any other creatures out there. There are exceptions, but they're kind of man-made creatures. But there are no exceptions in the animal kingdom where the sun actually attacks the body. Everything else is energized by the sun. In fact, there's a woman who ran across Scotland, and she literally ran across Scotland. And Scotland isn't known for its blazingly hot summers, yeah? She ran across Scotland, and this is what happened. She was covered in blisters. I did say that animals in the animal kingdom don't have white skin. There are exceptions. Can anybody tell me what this is? No, not an aardvark. Sorry? Pig? Pig? No, it's not pig. Well, somebody said it. It's actually a grizzly bear. It's born with white skin, but it was covered in thick hair, okay, to protect it. So it probably speaks to why you've got excess body hair in that line, okay? Next one is lack of melanin in the hair, okay? Now, what's interesting is that the fallen angels taught mankind technology. And in one case here, Azazel taught mankind how to make swords and knives and shields, so weapons of war, but he also taught the art of makeup. It says you can't see it down here, but it says the use of rouge and the beautifying of the eyebrows. But if the fallen angels came down to have sex with women because they found them beautiful, why didn't they need to make makeup? Well, I think it's because the Nephilim had female Nephilim. And they would have looked, if you cover up this side of the face, and imagine that all the men in the world look like me, she would look very alien. So, if you covered up that side of the face, she looked very alien. If you cover up this side of the face with the makeup, she looks more human, okay? So I think makeup, very powerful witchcraft, because if you can make a potato look beautiful, I fancy chips now, I don't know why. But if we can make a potato look beautiful, we can do anything. So the next one is eyes lacking melanin. Okay, so blue eyes. So blue eyes were known as the evil eye. And I don't know if you can see, it's hidden behind that light. But can you see that amulet down here? Can anyone see it? It's a little blue. Has anybody been to Turkey? Yeah. You will see that amulet everywhere, hanging on, people's houses, in their cars, Shots around people's necks, earrings, everything, everywhere. Right? It was to ward off the evil eye. Blue eyes were the evil eye at one point. In fact, one point in history, blue eyes were illegal. Okay? So, the amulet was to ward off the evil eye with your own evil eye. Now, something I found out about eyes lacking melanin, turns out they're susceptible to something called eye sunburn. Has anybody heard of it? Yeah? Well, they've got this article here talking about eye sunburn, and it shows this eye with a little bit of a kind of bloodshot there. But that's not it. That's not it. Brace yourselves. This is eye sunburn, yeah, or corneal flash burns. Yeah, so I'm going to move on very quickly from that. Okay. So the last one, or not last one, but this one is the smoking gun, really. RH negative blood. Any RH negatives in the room? And what? Let's just go in like this. Come on, any RH negatives in the room? Okay, oh, a few of you, okay. Right. Right, yeah, if you know, that's the point. So, RH negative is, okay, so you've got the regular sort of blood types, but you've also got this positive and negative factor. So, there's a protein coating on the red blood cells. And if you lack that protein coating, you are negative, okay? So it turns out 15% of humanity lack that protein coating. So there's 15% RH negatives. But that's 15% of humanity only. It's something that doesn't appear in the animal kingdom, okay? Only 15% of humanity. Now the thing is that if a RH negative woman conceives of an RH positive man, her immune system will attack the baby as a foreign object. So for that woman to conceive, she has to have what's known as a Rogan shot to depress her immune system so the baby gets a fighting chance to live. Okay? So that tells you that there is a part of humanity that is not compatible with the rest of humanity. Okay? That's not to say that if you're RH negative, you're a Nephilim. Okay? It means you've got one of the Nephilim traits, as we all have. You know, most of us have. I've got green eyes and excess body hair, not as much as a hairy piece as on there, but I've got some excess body hair, yeah? So we've all got some of these traits in us. Oh yeah, so the elite out there are mostly RH negative, or I think they're all RH negatives. King Charles, I hate saying it, it makes me feel dirty when I say it. Charlie Boy gave blood in 1980, and it turned out he was O negative. So if he's O negative, then the whole of the royal family are RH negatives. And that makes sense because traditionally, RH negatives were the ruling class, okay? RH negative blood has a slightly bluish tinge. You've got a higher copper content. So that's where we get the term blue bloods from, okay? So they reckon they've got the divine right to rule because they've got the blood of the gods. You might want to know and sort of ask, which gods are they talking about, yeah? So the last one I'll talk about on the traits is cunning and wickedness, or psychopathy. Okay, that's not a human trait. Psychopathy isn't a human trait. You know, because humans aren't psychopaths. You know, if you try and lie, if I was to try and lie to you right now, my whole body would be going, I'm lying, yeah? All this body language, okay? And internally, all sorts of other processes would kick off. You know, my heart would start racing, I'd start sort of sweating and shaking, all sorts of things, because it's uncomfortable for us to be evil. It really is. It goes against our nature. But there are people who do not show anything outwardly when they lie to us, because you know they don't have the same physiology as us. That's why politicians can lie through their teeth at us, and most people are just going to believe them because they're not showing anything outwardly. So one of these, one particular bloodline owns all the banks that are responsible for the poverty in the world. Right? Another one is responsible for all the war. In fact, there's pretty much only one family that's responsible for all the war. Anybody know who they are? Oh yes, okay. I didn't say it though. I didn't say that. One bloodline owns all the pharmaceutical companies that are keeping us all sick. Yeah, same bloodline owns all the corporations that are destroying this earth. Okay, it's one bloodline. Yeah. Now, when I talk about white, I'm talking about a very particular bloodline. Okay. Has anybody seen Harry Potter? Yeah. Yeah. So there's an elite class of wizards who look down on all the other wizards. What do they call them? Mudbloods. Dirty blood. Yeah? So if you're not in their bloodline, you're just one of the mudbloods. They don't care about you. Okay? So another last trait of the fallen angels, or the Nephilim, is that when they die, according to the book of Enoch, when they die, their spirits can't go anywhere. Their spirits are stuck here, you know, cursed to wander the earth until the end of time. Okay? That's going to become sort of useful to remember later on. And last thing about the term white, because there's no white people. Yeah, there are pink people and there are brown people, no white people. Right? But the term white, you look it up, Anglo-Saxon, right? It means thing, demon, yeah, creature, something. Yeah. In fact, you can't see it. It's a shame. Right down the bottom there. There's a word, white Satan. It says inhabitants of the Isle of Wight in England. Okay. So this bloodline has always been known as something else. Okay. So back to the Bible. Genesis 6:12. And the Most High looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted its way upon the earth. These fallen angels had mixed with mankind so much that virtually everybody was corrupted by it, right? Except for one man, Noah. Okay, and Noah alone had pure genetics. Right, his wife turns out was from the line of Cain, so she was corrupted. So Noah's sons were corrupted, and a week before the flood, Noah had to find wives for his 3 sons, and the only women that were available were corrupted ones. So the Nephilim DNA got the other side of the flood through the DNA of the children. Okay, and I got this from the dear departed Rob Skiba. This is basically it. If you've got a normal male, this is Noah, and you've got a Nephilim female with a Nephilim X chromosome, right? So there's 4 possible types of offspring. You've either got a Nephilim female, Nephilim male, or a normal male, normal female. And so what happens, you've got Noah's 3 sons, and I think that Japheth and Ham were corrupted, had that Nephilim gene. But Shem didn't. So he was chosen, because he was the closest to the original blueprint of Adam. Okay? So what happens is that the Most High is cleaning the bloodline. So he's saying, okay, out of Shem's 5 sons, Arphaxad is the next one, and then you've got, skips a generation, and then you've got another chosen one, Eber. You don't hear much about Eber, but Eber is where you get the word Hebrew from. Okay, it skips a few generations, and it gets down to Abraham. And Abraham, he was told to marry his half sister. Okay, again to keep the blood pure. Okay, but Sarah, his wife, was barren, so she gave him her handmaid, her Egyptian handmaid, as a wife. And she bore Ishmael. You can't see it down there. Ishmael. Okay, but he wasn't chosen because he wasn't part of the bloodline. Right? So it waited until Sarah, who gave birth at 90, right, to give birth to Isaac. He was chosen. And then when it came to Isaac, again, it's down here, you can't see it. When it came down to Isaac, something different happened. The fallen angel DNA was concentrated in the firstborn, Esau, and absent in his brother, Jacob. So now, all Jacob's offspring were chosen, they're cleaned now, all the way back to the bloodline of Adam. But now we've got a representative of the fallen angels in Esau. So before they were born, they were fighting in the womb. They're actually fighting in the womb. And Rebecca, their mother, said, well, what's going on? I'm going to have to ask the Most High what's going on. And the Most High said, two nations, two very separate nations are in thy womb. And two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Okay? So, if you know the story, Jacob got the birthright from Esau because he sold it for a bowl of soup. And when their father was about to die and pass on his legacy, right, Esau was going to get it. Right? He shouldn't have got it because he sold his birthright. But he went out to hunt, and Jacob dressed up as Esau and got the blessing. And when Esau came back, the blessing had gone, and now he hates Jacob. And that hatred is going to go on until the end of time. So fast forward to today, Esau's bloodline is the bloodline that controls the earth right now. Okay? The earth is literally controlled by 12 or 13 Nephilim bloodlines, the bloodlines of the Illuminati, you might call them. Okay? And while we know her family occupies the seat, we don't really know who else is on the list. Now, this is just a kind of notional list. These four at the top are Rothschild, so I think they only occupy one square. But to be honest, we don't really know who's on that list. I think there's the Orsini family, maybe the Medici family, and the Sassoon, well, we don't really know. But there are 12 or 13 bloodlines out there. Equal and opposite to the 12 or 13 tribes of Israel. Okay? Equal and opposite. Right? So we know what these guys, what their agenda is. It's now out in the open. Yeah? Global depopulation. So, how are they doing it? So here's the thing. Words have power. Words have power. Yeah? Now it's starting to become obvious now to the scientific community that the oldest language is actually Paleo-Hebrew. Right? Anybody heard of Paleo-Hebrew? Preview? Ooh, that's exciting. Paleo-Hebrew fan, yeah! So yeah, they're starting to realise that Paleo-Hebrew is the oldest language. Now Paleo-Hebrew is a language of pictures, little pictograms that mean something. So it starts, it's read right to left, so it starts up here. The sound is a picture of the head of an ox. The ox is was the strongest animal in the Hebrew world, essentially. So the sound means strength, power, leadership, first, guidance, teacher, that sort of thing. Okay. The next one is the but sound, or but sound, is the floor plan of a tent, because they used to live in tents. So it means house, home, family, within, inside, bloodline, that sort of thing. Okay, and so on. Every symbol, every pictogram means something, and each one has 8 different meanings. And well, I'll go into how a little demonstration of how it works in a minute. But the thing is, you were born speaking this language. You have this language. Okay, I'm going to show you a little video of a child speaking to her father, and I want you to notice something. You're going to hear the child say the word mother twice. The Paleo-Hebrew word for mother is amma. Okay, so listen out for that, and notice when it becomes obvious that the father isn't listening, right? Can't understand her. Look at the look on the baby's face. Okay, I'll look at this. Oh, it's a bit soft. We turn it up. No? Can you actually hear that? Okay, all right. So I contrast this with this. Can you see that the structure was the same? The sounds were almost the same because Arabic is very close to where Paleo-Hebrew was spoken. Okay, so the structure and the sounds are the same. The baby was speaking to her father. She said the word mother twice. I know you couldn't hear it. The father obviously didn't understand, and you might have caught the look of disappointment, or did you see the confusion, disappointment? Anybody? Hello, Bueller. Okay. All right. So the point is, you spoke this language, but then just like the baby there, it's like, oh, he doesn't speak the language. I better learn their language. Yeah? So, Paleo-Hebrew, it's a language of pictures. It's a language of the heart and subconscious, right? It doesn't work the way the languages we're speaking today work, okay? It's a language of the heart and subconscious. Each letter has 8 different meanings. The words are the story those letters tell when you put them together, okay? So they create a word picture, right? It's a concrete language that can't mean anything other than what it means, okay? And it describes the feeling of the word, not just a label. Right? It's an amazing language, right? And it's not understood by the processes that we use to understand language today. So I'm going to give you a little demonstration, right? So again, audience participation. Right? So I'm going to describe a film to you. If you've seen this, shut up. Okay. Right, so I'm going to describe a film to you in English. I'm going to put it on the screen as well. And you have to guess what the film is, okay? Okay? Okay! Right. So, a man on the autistic spectrum recounts the events of his life to strangers. What's the film? Rain Man. What's the other one? Forrest Gump. Anything else? No? Going once? Yeah? Okay. Right, so we've got two players here, okay? So, what happened there, in the left-hand side of your brain, you were listening to the sounds I was making or reading what was on the screen, and you were fetching the meanings that you were taught of those words, the meanings you were taught at school, right? And then you were comparing that list of meanings with a list of films you'd seen and guessing at Rain Man and Forrest Gump, okay? Got it? Right, so I'm going to tell you the same film in Paleo-Hebrew. Right, so Paleo-Hebrew says there's a language of pictures. So I'm going to give you a set of emojis. Right, and you have to tell me what the film is. So just shout it out when you know.
Forrest Gump.
What is it? Forrest Gump. Oh, yes, it is. Forrest Gump. Well done. Okay, can you see? Right, this time, it wasn't in the left-hand side of your brain. Because your left-hand side of your brain can't analyse pictures. It can analyse language, but not pictures. Right? So what happened there, right, the left-hand side of your brain was cut out of the process. You were looking at the pictures, and all of a sudden you knew what the film was. Is that right? Yeah. You just knew. It can't mean, these pictures can't mean Rain Man. Can't mean Beautiful Mind. Can't be I Am Sam or Awakenings or any other guesses that people have made over the years. It can only mean Forrest Gump. Yeah? The problem is when an English, let's imagine Forrest Gump was in the Bible. Yeah? So the English translator might look at the meanings of the word Forrest Gump and go, I think it's park bench. Does that, bring across the meaning of that word? No. That's why it's virtually impossible to translate this language into English or Greek, or whatever. So now that your minds have been sort of altered to go back to understanding Paleo-Hebrew, let's see if you can guess what these films are. Shadow. Men in Black. Men in Black, yeah. E.T. This one's a hard one. Benjamin Button. Life of Pi. Unfortunately, you can't see the bottom one. Lord of the Rings, you can just about see it. Lord of the Rings. Well done, well done. Now you can speak Paleo-Hebrew. My job's done. Thank you very much. That's all right. I'm not staying. So, Paleo-Hebrew is, again, a right brain process, yeah? And your right brain is connected to the whole universe, yeah? Connected to everything. It's known as semi-psygraphic, which means the words equate to meaning. English, the words equate to sounds, okay? And then you have to translate those sounds into meaning. But Paleo-Hebrew goes direct to meaning. Again, it's pictographic, it's concrete, and it's intuitive. You feel it, you know what it means, okay? So that goes along with the way we naturally think. A human naturally thinks, not in a straight line, but you know, you might think of something over here, something over there, something over there, something over here, and something all comes together, and a new thought comes out, okay? Anybody recognize that process? Oh, everyone's a Nephilim in here then. Okay. Well, in this kind of thinking equates in the world to something like this. Has anybody been to India? Yeah? So look, can you see people crossing the road over there? To the Western mind, this looks like chaos. But the point is, nobody's having accidents. There aren't any traffic signals or police waving people on or you know, lines in the road. People are just figuring out how to get through this. And notice how fast people get through this. It's nobody really waiting a long time. Am I right? Yeah? Because people are using their natural ability to navigate through this junction. And the result is no accidents. Okay? So we're not the only ones who do this. If anyone's seen one of these? You notice there's no birds bashing into each other and falling out of the sky. Now, I've never actually seen one in real life. The one I saw, there was about 50 of them trying to do their best, Yeah. But yes, we do this as well. I mean, has anybody walked through a crowded shopping centre? Yeah. You're not going like, oh, sorry, oh, sorry, oh, sorry, sorry. Yeah. No, you're naturally finding your way through. Okay. So going back to the Bible, Genesis 11:6-7. Behold, the people is one, and they all have one language, the language of creation, Paleo-Hebrew. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them. So with this language, and step back a second, there's a book, and I can't remember which book I looked at, it's not in the Old Testament, but this book says that Nimrod, the first king of the world, he was given a secret combination of words, which made him powerful. And with that power, he decided to build a tower to attack the Most High with. So this is the Most High saying, we can't let this happen. Let's confound their language so they can't understand each other. They took away the language because the language has power. And with that power, they misused it. So the Most High took the language away from us because we weren't responsible enough to have the language of creation. Okay? So when everybody scattered to their own part of the world, the Greeks took their sort of changed language, but they used it. They created a technology with it called Greek philosophy. Now, Greek philosophy isn't old men sitting around talking about what the world's all about. It's a system of thought. It's a system of mind control, creating logical constructs in people's minds, left brain side of your mind. So our Western languages are all left-brained languages, where logical, symbolic, abstract. Okay, the letters don't mean anything. The words don't mean anything. The word river, for instance, doesn't mean anything. It's just a sound. Okay, but you're taught at school, moving body of water, that's a river. Moving body of water, that's a river. Moving body of water, that's a river. And then you go out into the world and go, oh look, there's a moving body of water. That's a river. Okay? So the words don't actually mean anything. So this sort of thinking, equates to this. This is a Nephilim sort of thinking. Step-by-step logical progression. Okay? And it manifests into the world like this. So lots of traffic signals, lines in the road, order out of chaos. Maybe you've heard of that phrase before. Anybody? Yeah. So you can see how, people are having to follow the lines. Yeah. If you just look at one car, see how long it sits there just waiting. Yeah. It's, our natural abilities aren't used. So consequently, there's accidents. There's always accidents in this sort of idea. There was a notorious accident black spot in England, Coventry, I think it was. And just as an experiment, they took away all the traffic lights. Good. Yeah, and what happened was, people got through the junction a lot quicker, and there were no more accidents. Right? But they couldn't have that, so they put the traffic lights back in. Yeah? So this is the Nephilim mindset. Okay. So how do you turn a human into a battery powering the matrix? Well, I think Rudolf Steiner, if anybody knows who that is, Rudolf Steiner had it right. He said, a way will finally be found to vaccinate bodies, so that those bodies will not allow the inclination towards spiritual ideas to develop. And all their lives, people will believe only in the physical world they perceive with their senses. So vaccination is about, according to Rudolf Steiner, locking you in your left brain. Right? The side of your brain that roots you in the here and now in the physical world. Right? So you don't even think about going into the other side of your mind. This also explains why, before the age of 18, a child gets something like 75 jabs.
Probably more now.
Probably more now, yeah. But what makes anybody think that a newborn baby needs to be injected with poisons to survive? No, it's crazy. There's something else to it. Our education system is also about locking you in that side of the mind. In this country, did anybody do drama at school? Yeah. Yeah? Do you think they do drama today? No. I don't know in this country, but definitely in England.
They got rid of home economics too.
They take away everything that might stimulate the right side of your brain. It's all about academic learning now, yeah? And so, yeah, you're being locked away from your creative side. So, anybody heard of Terence McKenna?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Terence McKenna had something to say about thinking in images. So, we'll have a listen to him.
Think of a child
Can we turn that up?
lying in a crib with an open window and a hummingbird comes through the room. Well, this is like a miracle. It's all light and iridescence and whirring sound, and the child is sucked into the presence of a miracle. And then its nurse or its mother comes into the room and says, it's a bird, baby, bird. Suddenly the miracle is collapsed into a lexeme. And by the time you are 5 years old, the entirety of reality has been very carefully mosaiced over with words. And to burst through that to whatever reality lies beyond is the task of a mystic or a shaman, and it's extraordinarily difficult. What you notice when you experiment with these shamanic tools, such as psychoactive plants, is that as the intoxications deepen, thought becomes vision, and one thinks in images. And I imagine that this is the Aboriginal thought style, and we must have thought in images for a long time before we downloaded into words. To the degree that people think in images, I think they are a different sort of person than the word-oriented person. I think thinking in words may be an artifact of writing and print, and may have been most intensified in the last 1,000 years. So I think the mind is very malleable, and the imprint of culture very deep. This is an area where we are very naive, how our languages affect our view of the world.
So it's quite powerful what you said there, right? That with this example of the baby and a hummingbird. Yeah, if you think of that for a moment, imagine this amazing sight. This, has anybody actually seen a hummingbird? Yeah, how they dart around like that, and they're making that sort of buzzing sound as they're going, and it is a miracle, right? And to a baby, it's like the most amazing thing ever. And then the mother says, "Oh, it's a bird." That miracle is now collapsed into this amorphous kind of bird shape, in your mind that lacks that miracle. Okay, and as you said, by the age of 6 or 7, your whole world has been papered over by words instead of the reality. You interact with the words and not the reality. That's why we lose that childlike wonder of the world, because we interact with the words now. Does that make sense? And what he's also saying is that when you take, hallucinogenic drugs, what happens is you start thinking in pictures again. That's the weirdness of the trip, because now you're thinking in pictures, and as you said, thought becomes vision. Okay, so the English language is a manufactured language. It was manufactured 500 years ago, deliberately, mathematically. Okay, it's literally 2 languages in one. It's one language for the left-hand side of your brain, and another, right, in the same words for the right-hand side. Program the right-hand side of the brain. So here's an example of it. So if you use the word cure, right, consciously, your mind says, "Oh, I want to heal somebody." But the original meaning of the word, to cure, like to cure meat, right, is to preserve. So your subconscious hears, "I want to preserve cancer." Yeah? Same with the word suffer, right? You think it means to, I'm suffering with cancer, yeah? Well, it actually means to permit. Never suffer, permit, or wish to live, yeah? So the word suffer means to allow. So you say, "I'm suffering cancer," I'm allowing it, okay? Well, we think that the word doctor, some of us think the word doctor means wise healer. Probably not too many in here. But if you use the word as a verb, okay, what happens if you doctor a document? Yeah, falsify it. Yeah. What happens if you doctor food? Yeah, poison it. So what's a doctor? A lying poisoner. Yeah, it's right there in the words. Yeah. The word Aborigine. We were talking to somebody about this today. The word Aborigine. Well, the prefix ab means not. Abnormal. Yeah. So Aborigine means not original. Okay. And this is one I just found in a dictionary. The word nice. We think it means, nice. But it actually means stupid and ignorant. Yeah? If you can get a dictionary, an old dictionary, there are some dictionaries that have the term and the definition, but it also has square brackets. You can find the dictionary has square brackets. In the square brackets, it tells you the original usage of the word. And if you find one there, you find some shocks. There's some of the words you find. I think another one I found was the word bad. It means effeminate and womanish. Yeah. So when Michael Jackson starts saying, "I'm bad, I'm bad," yeah. The word no, K-N-O-W, right, has the sound no in it. Right? So it's got the opposite sound. Most of these words in English have the opposite subconscious meaning. So when you use English, you're mostly talking against yourself. You're weakening yourself. Okay? So English is a language, a programming language for the human mind. Okay? It's English letters and words, to say they're symbols that stand for something, just like variables in a computer program. Okay? It's understood by pattern matching, you know, memory retrieval, you know, sort of logical processes, left brain processes. Right? It's taught by brainwashing, you know, reward and punishment and repetition. That's brainwashing. That's all you get at school. Okay? So as I said, if language represents reality, then all they have to do is change the language to change your reality. Yeah? So, question for you all. How many legs does a dog have if I count the tail as a leg? Well, okay, some clever ones. What makes you think, just because I count a tail as a leg, that a dog has 5 legs? You know, can you see how easy it is? Right? I used word magic on you, right? And so there's people here think a dog has 5 legs now. So now I want to see who's got a right brain sort of dominant and left brain dominant. So I made this picture, so I know what is right. These 2 circles are different. I want you to tell me which one's bigger than the other. So hang on, take a few moments and have a look, because I made this, so I know the answer. So how many people think the red circle is bigger? Well, you have to make a noise because I can't see anything.
Sağdaki kırmızı.
Okay. How many people think the blue is bigger? Oh, okay, blue. It's funny, all the blues on that side. Maybe it's because the same. Right, who says they're the same? Yeah, you say the same. Right, could you stand up? Yeah. You're saying they're the same, aren't you? Yeah, they look the same. Well, could you stand right in the middle? So on that spot there, yeah. Right, now look very careful, because I made this, so I know the difference. Which one? The blue. Okay, sit down then. Thank you. Well, they are the same. But I use word magic on you, yeah? I use word magic on you. Yes, they are different. One's red, one's blue. Right? But I says, you know, these are different. Which one's bigger? Your mind filled in the rest. Okay? And somebody said red, somebody said blue. And when you came up and stood up and said, no, they're the same, I used more word magic, and you changed your mind. This is so powerful, this word magic. It's so powerful that in other talks, when I said, yeah, they're exactly the same, somebody said, well, I still think the red one's bigger. Yeah? Because it is very powerful, word magic. Right? It's so powerful that a hypnotist, just using words, can make somebody believe that eating an onion is actually eating an apple. And there's nothing you can do to tell him, no, mate, that's an onion. Because to him, his reality, it's an apple. And in reality, what the hypnotist has done, remember you're interacting with the word layer, yeah? All the hypnotist has done, he swapped apple and onion. So the signals are coming in for an onion, but they're reaching that layer of language and coming to apple. So now he believes he's eating an apple. Does that make sense? Yeah? So it's very, very, very powerful. And the biggest hypnotist in the world is in most people's front rooms. Anybody still got one of these things? Be honest. Come on. Yeah. Right. Biggest hypnotist in the world. Because this thing was not invented to educate you or inform you or to entertain you. It's only created to program your reality. Yeah, that's all it's there for. Okay. Your language also affects your physiology. Are there any kinesiologists in the room? No. Oh, wow. That's a first. So, if you go to a kinesiologist, right, they will know that they'll stick your hand up and test how strong you are, and then ask you a question. And if you, for instance, if you say something bad about somebody, you suddenly become weak. But if you say something positive about somebody, you stay strong. So your words actually affect your physiology. Okay? Very powerful. Have a look at this. Let me show you something. I have here some ordinary Morton salt. If you can't see it, one says cyanide. What just happened? As you look at them on the screen, is your willingness to use one or the other changed a little bit? And even though you laugh and you would do it because you saw me, but you have a reluctance suddenly. And that reluctance is signaling you about something about words, that words we have are like things, and moreover, what we're getting at here is that in a heartbeat, our imagination makes reality different. What I'm getting at here is that words don't reflect reality, words are actually making things what they are in a certain sense. Yeah, and it's true. If you can imagine that guy, later on, a year later, he's put those 2 salt cellars in his cupboard, and a year later, he's sitting there having his pizza or something, and he gets the salt cellar out and he puts a bit of salt on, sets it down, he's eating his pizza, glances over and he sees cyanide. That could actually make him sick. Just the idea, even though he might remember putting salt in there, the idea that it might be cyanide will make him sick. And in fact, if anybody's come across the work of Masaru Emoto, well, the fact that the word cyanide is written on there can affect that salt to make it slightly poisonous. Words are very, very powerful. And if you've been watching television over the last few years, you would see that being flashed at you all the time. In England, somebody from the BBC said they were told they had to say the words COVID-19 every 5 minutes or something. They had to keep hammering it into people's psyche. And it's, again, just saying those words. In England, somebody said, act as though you've got it. What is that? That's fake it until you make it. It's very, very powerful. I mean, it's so powerful. Take a look at this thing.
Training fleas requires a glass jar with a lid. The fleas are placed inside the jar, and the lid is then sealed. They are left undisturbed for 3 days. Then, when the jar is opened, the fleas will not jump out. In fact, the fleas will never jump higher than the level set by the lid.
Look at this.
Their behaviour is now set for the rest of their lives.
Can you see the curve at the bottom there?
And when these fleas reproduce, their offspring will automatically follow their example.
You might say, stupid fleas, but works with us too. If we're trained in the right way, it works for us too. But here's the thing, our universe is made of thought. It's a thought-based universe, okay? And your thoughts alter the universe, right? Proof of that is, you can alter your own body just by your belief system. And the placebo effect. If you think that a sugar pill is going to heal you of something, then it will. Your body will make it happen. The reverse is also true. It's called the nocebo effect. If you believe something's going to kill you, your body's going to find some way to make it happen. Yeah. In fact, smoking-related deaths. I don't know if this happens in this country, but you know they put deadly warnings on the cigarette packets now, and smoking-related deaths spiked as soon as they did that. Okay. Nocebo effect is incredibly real. Has anybody come across the phantom gym experiment? Yeah, I want to say. So, what happens if you and I did this, right? Well, not recently, of course. Right? I did this. So, I'd wake up in the morning and lie in bed for an hour. And while I'm lying in bed, I would pretend, I would imagine myself, you know, in the gym doing a workout. So I'd actually sort of do the first motion and then imagine the rest of the motion in my mind, yeah? And just sit there, lie there and just do my full workout I used to do, right? The thing is, after about a month or so, this actually happened. I went to the bathroom after doing this for a month solid, and I saw myself in the mirror. I was like, oh, hello. Again, not recently, yeah. But the point is that your mind and body cannot tell the difference between a so-called real experience and an imagined one. Yeah, they're just signals. You hear internally generated signals or signals coming from your senses. The body can't tell the difference. Okay, so you can imagine three different blokes go to a gym and they use the same machines and the same, they do the same sort of workout routine, using the same weights and everything, and their bodies will shape themselves differently. Why is that? Because, you know, one of them is a swimmer, one of them is a bodybuilder, and one of them is a gymnast. They all need different shaped bodies. It's not the weights that is doing it, it's the intention behind it. Yeah? The weights are just a metaphor. Does that make sense? Because you can do it with just your imagination. The weights are just a metaphor. And your body is following what you intend to happen when you do the weights. Has anybody come across the Emoto rice experiment? Yeah. Anyone done it? Yeah? Did it work? Yeah. Okay, you can go online and find thousands of examples of this. So you cook up some rice, you put them in some identical sterilized jars. On the first one you write, I love you. Yeah? On the second one you write, I hate you. And the third one you put, ignore. And over the course of a month or so, you go to each jar and you go to the one that I love you jar and go, oh, I love you rice, you're delicious looking, I really want to eat you, lovely rice, yeah? And then you go to the I hate you rice and go, you dirty, disgusting rice, yeah? And then the third jar, you just ignore totally. And after a month or so, what you find is the I love you rice is still almost edible. It's nice and fluffy and white and everything. The I hate you rice is disgusting. It's all gone, you know, mushy and furry and stuff. But the worst one is the ignore rice. Even negative attention is attention, right? Lack of attention is incredibly harmful, yeah? But we do this to our children, yeah? We, you know, give them an iPad or, you know, sitting down in front of the television and we withdraw our attention from them. It's actually damaging. That's why solitary confinement is a punishment. Yeah? The lack of attention, okay? Well, this is the solitary confinement of the future. Yeah? Thousands of people in their own world, yeah? And the overlords, you know, walking around outside. Right? Zuckerberg could kill that guy there and nobody else would know. Because they're all locked in their own worlds. Well, this is kind of what they want. Instead of being sort of hooked up in, you know, in the goggles and the headphones and stuff, they are connecting the brain directly to the internet. Yeah? They apparently, according to them, they've already done it. Right? And it won't be with wires. It'll be wireless. This is what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink. No wires, it's going to be beamed directly into your head. So they basically want you connected to the internet, to the matrix, you know, all the time, essentially, so that you become a thing on the Internet of Things. But it's not just a one-way thing. It's a two-way connection. And this is one of the things I think they're going to do with that two-way connection.
Electronic mind control research is not new. A scientific milestone in this area came in the 1960s when Dr. Jose Delgado demonstrated remote control over a charging bulb. By connecting a radium antenna to electrodes inserted into the bull's brain, Delgado proved that the animal's aggressive impulses could be thwarted by electronically manipulating the bull's muscle reflexes.
Do you realize the fantastic possibilities if from the outside we could modify the inside? Could we give messages to the inside? But the beauty is that now we are not using electrodes.
In recent years, Delgado has shown that the behavior of monkeys can be altered using low-power, pulsating magnetic fields. But in these experiments, there were no antenna implants.
Any function in the brain, emotions, intellect, personality, could be perhaps modified by this non-invasive technology.
Delgado's research has so far been limited to animals. But in the Soviet Union, a radio frequency, or RF device, has been used for over 30 years to manipulate the moods of mental patients.
So did you see how pleased he was that he can alter the behavior and personality and intellect of somebody just with radio frequency? Yeah. Well, funny enough, in 2016, I found this news story. Let's get out of everybody's way. About genetically engineered magnetic protein, yeah, that can remotely control the brain and behavior. It says, a new method for controlling the brain circuits associated with complex animal behaviors. A magnetized protein that activates specific groups of nerve cells from a distance. Yeah, you can't see it, but it says, they become sensitive to radio waves and magnetic fields by attaching neurons in the brain to iron-storing protein called ferritin. Ferritin, okay? I also found this a little more recently. Spike ferritin nanoparticles show potential as SARS-CoV-2 vaccine. Right? Nanoparticles, which means get beyond the blood-brain barrier into the brain so it can attach to neurons. Yeah? So, does anybody remember this? Yeah? People being jabbed and suddenly they become magnetic. It's almost as if some kind of magnetic protein was put into their bodies. Yeah? So what I think they're trying to do, they're basically going to try and connect us up to the internet directly, right? And so we can end up playing in their matrix. Yeah? So we're having a wonderful time. Our senses have been overridden, so we can't feel what's going on in the outside world. And while we're playing in the matrix, our body might just stand up and march its way into the extermination centre, and our game will suddenly end. Yeah? Now, well, actually, they might sell it to us because they probably give us these monotonous, dirty type jobs. And I want to say, well, you know what? You can just do your job and not be there. You can play in the matrix while your body does the job. Wouldn't that be great? And then they've got us, right? Well, you might think this is, these two scenarios are like far-fetched, but they've already done it. Take a look at this.
This is VR vaccine. The VR vaccine is an immersive adventure where the children become a hero about to receive a powerful shield. To make it work, we need one VR gear, one smartphone for the children, one for the nurse, and the VR vaccine app. Oi! Você voltou! Você voltou! And what the children experience in the virtual world is matched step by step by the nurse that follows the story on a second screen. Pronto. Agora um fruto de fogo. Mas ó, vamos lá. Bem rapidinho. All simultaneously, calming and entertaining children while helping the nurses to better perform the vaccination.
So while the children are playing in their matrix, right, in the real world, they'll be murdered. Yeah, it's already happened. So this idea of transhumanism, they're trying to sell it to us as if you know, we will merge with their technology and we'll become enhanced. Well, you know they don't want that for us. Okay, the real transhumanism is us uploading our consciousness to their computer system. That's what they want, okay? Because you are not inside your body, yeah? Your body is an antenna receiving your signal, okay? So you're literally not, you know, in here somewhere, yeah? You're not in here. Now, I want you to do a little experiment right now, okay? I want you all to stand up, and I want you to choose somebody at random and point to them. All right, just point to them, point to somebody, yeah? Okay. For most of you, look at where you're pointing. You're pointing, most of you are pointing here. Is that right? All right, you can sit down now, stop pointing. Most of you are pointing here. You're not pointing here. You can stop pointing here. There's a fight starting down here. Yeah, you're not pointing up here. You're pointing here, because subconsciously, you know you're being received here at the center of your being. Yeah. Now I think this is backed up because there's a woman called Claire Sylvia. Yeah. And she got a heart and lung transplant, right? And as soon as she got the transplant, her daughter said to her, "Mum, why are you walking around like a bloke?" You know. And all of a sudden she had the urge to eat beer and chicken nuggets. Yeah, she was a health food freak. Yeah, but suddenly she had this urge for beer and chicken nuggets. Right? And then she started having these dreams of having a passionate affair with this young man. And she even knew his name. She couldn't pronounce his second name, so she called him Tim L. And it turns out that the donor was a young man called Tim Lamourade. And from the impression she was getting from his heart and lung, she was able to find the donor's parents, and went and met them and stuff. So the point is that even though this guy's body was dead, the surviving organs that were inside Claire Sylvia, right, were still receiving him. The signal was still there. It's just, for most of us, when our body's dead, there's nothing left to receive it. Okay? Signal's always there. But, she was receiving those signals and interpreting them as her own. Okay? This also explains why you get identical twins who they could be separated for thousands of miles, but they end up doing exactly the same things. Yeah? Because it's one consciousness being shared between two identical bodies. Yeah? These two receivers are receiving the same signal. Also explains, what's the word? Schizophrenia and multiple personality disorder. Yeah? When you're picking up more than one signal. Okay. Now I think there's technology out there to, as I said, they're going to be trying to upload our consciousness to their computer systems. But they've already started building these systems. So anybody come across the D-Wave computer? D-Wave quantum computer? Well, it's a huge metal sort of refrigerator, apparently. And it's not like any other computer. It's got no electronics inside as such. It's got some gubbins at the top. It kind of comes down to this kind of chip. I don't know if you can see this chip at the bottom. That's all that's in there, okay? And I don't know if you can see it, but that chip looks like an eye, doesn't it? It's like the one eye, right? And again, the bottom's cut off. If you rearrange the word D-wave, you get the word demon. Yeah? So let's have a listen to a guy called Geordie Rose, who is behind this machine. Remember, he's talking about a computer system, right?
This is what they look like. There are two of them. These are from our lab in Burnaby in British Columbia. From the outside, they look like giant black monoliths, big metal boxes, about 10 feet on a side, 12 feet tall. And they are powered, they have a fridge inside them, a refrigerator that cools these chips to almost absolute zero. These fridges, interestingly enough, which are called pulse tube dilution refrigerators, have a thing called a pulse tube, which emits a sound roughly once per second, which sounds eerily like a heartbeat. So if you have the opportunity to stand next to one of these machines, it is an awe-inspiring thing, at least for me. It feels like an altar to an alien god. They really are impressive machines. At the heart of this big box is a tiny chip about the size of your thumbnail. And on this chip resides all of the wonder and magic that makes this thing go. I'm not going to describe in any mathematical detail how it all works, but let me give you an analogy. In quantum mechanics, there's this concept that a thing can exist in two states which are mutually exclusive at the same time. Imagine that there really are parallel universes out there, and now imagine you have two that are exactly identical in every respect, all the way out to the horizon as far as we can see, down to the last little atomic detail of every single thing, with only one difference. And that's the value of a little thing called a qubit on this chip, which is a contraction of quantum bit. And that qubit is very much like a bit or a transistor in a conventional computer. It has two distinct physical states, which we call 0 and 1 for bit. In a conventional computer, these are mutually exclusive. That device is either one or the other, and never anything else. In a quantum computer, that device can be in this strange situation where these two parallel universes have a nexus, a point in space where they overlap. And if we're smart enough, we can dive into them and grab their resources and pull them back into ours to make an effect in our world.
So, does that not sound extraordinarily dangerous? Yeah. So notice he says, right, he doesn't say at the end to calculate numbers or to get a result. He says to cause an effect in our world. Right? He's literally talking about reaching into a parallel universe and bringing something in that has an effect in this world. I don't think there are parallel universes. I think there are multiple probabilities of any particular event happening. Yeah? And what they're doing is reaching back and taking a different probability. Because, you know, at any point in time, a particular probability became reality. But they're reaching back and grabbing a different probability, bringing it into our world, and now a different probability happens, a circumstance happened, and now our world has changed. There was an effect in our world. I think, yes, you were there before me. Where's Brian? Where's Brian? There you go. Yeah, so the Mandela effect. I mean, I dismissed this for the longest time, right? Until I saw T3PO with a silver leg. I'm like, no! I was the biggest Star Wars fan, yeah? And like, I remember T3PO being all gold. But no, not in this universe. He's always had a silver leg, yeah? And Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle in this universe, yeah? And is Fruit of the Loom a brand over here? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember the cornucopia. Yeah. They never had one, ever. Yeah? This is utterly weird. And this is the one that most people have a trouble getting out of their heads, have a listen to this. I might have to play it. Okay. Snow White. See if you spot something. I'm sure you all know it anyway. Do you all know it? Does anybody not know it? Okay.
Slave in the magic mirror, come from the farthest space. Through wind and darkness I summon thee. Let me see thy face.
What wouldst thou know, my queen?
Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest?
Oh, yeah, what?
Famed is thy beauty, Majesty.
Whoa. Yeah, so in this universe, she never said mirror, mirror on the wall. She said magic mirror on the wall. Whoa. Yeah. No, I mean, shocked me, yeah. So I think, as I said, they're reaching into the past, making a change, sort of collapsing a different probability into reality, right? And whatever change they made ripples out and makes other little changes around the world, yeah. So I'm going to go back to Geordie Rose. I'm going to have to hurry, but I'm going to go back to Geordie Rose because we're going to have a 5-minute break after a while, after a few more slides. But so I'm going to go back to Geordie Rose. He's going to talk about the software, okay, the AI, right, which I don't think is software. But have a listen to what he says about this AI software.
So Sam Harris, who I quite admire, is a very interesting guy, was reciting this parable at a TED Talk that he was giving, and it goes something like this. So, I am, say I'm the President of the United States. So I received this message from the heavens. So my microwave dish, my SETI dish, finally captures something. And what it says is, in 50 years, or 13 years, we're coming to your planet. You gotta be ready. Now just imagine what would happen if that happened. A super intelligent alien race beamed down a message to all of us Earthlings saying, we're coming July 13th, 2030, and boy, you better be ready because the mothership is landing right on the front lawn of the White House or wherever you wanted to land on that day. The amount of resources that would be marshaled to try to figure out what to do would encompass the whole world. AI is just like that. So when this thing that I'm talking about happens, it's going to be exactly the thing that you're thinking about those super intelligent AIs. So the one thing I can tell you is they're not going to be like us. So alien means, different. These things that we're building are not going to be people. They might be really smart, they might be really good at all sorts of different things, but they're not going to be like us. They're going to be aliens. And they're going to be, I'm sorry to say, way smarter than every single person in this room, in ways that we can't even comprehend. So this, of course, triggers a lot of alarm. One of the guys who talks about this is Elon, who says things like this, like, when you do this, beware. Because you think, just like the guy in the stories, that when you do this, you're going to put that little guy in a pentagram, and you're going to have your holy water out, and you're going to wave it at the thing, and by God, it's going to do exactly what you say, and not one thing more, but it never works out that way. So this is an attitude that some are having, this emerging alarmism about the way this is going to go. But these words, demons, doesn't capture the essence of what's happening here. I don't know if any of you are turn-of-the-century weird fiction fans, but there's this guy named H.P. Lovecraft, who's a very famous American weird fiction author. And he espoused a view which is called cosmicism. And the essence of cosmicism is cosmic indifference. So what he was saying is basically, yes, there are these massively intelligent entities out there, but they're not good, they're not evil. They just don't give a shit about you even in the slightest. The same way you don't care about an ant is the same way they're not going to care about you. And these things that we're summoning into the world now are not demons, they're not evil, but they're more like the Lovecraftian great old ones. There are entities that are not necessarily going to be aligned with what we want. So this transition is really, really massively important for our entire species to navigate. And going back to that thing that Sam Harris was saying, nobody is paying attention. This thing is happening in the background while people bicker about politics and what's going to be in the healthcare plan in the US. And underneath it all is this rising tsunami that, if we're not careful, is going to wipe us all out. Listen to this bit. So, on that pleasant note, we're hiring people to try to make something like this happen. Did you catch that? He said, this is likely to wipe us all out. Let's build it. Yeah, that's a psychopath, right? So I've been really negative so far, telling you all the bad part, right? But don't panic. Yeah. Don't panic. Yeah, there's good news coming. So we're gonna have a 5-minute break, so you can go and cry somewhere, and we'll come back and I'll tell you the solution.
Dave Murphy güzel bir konuşma yaptı gerçekten. Ve devam ediyor. Şu anda 5 dakika ara verdi. İnşallah bunun tercümesini yapıp tekrardan yayınlarız. Zaten bu FLATOBERFEST videolarını tahmin ediyorum sonradan yayınlayacaklar. Bütün bu şeylerin, görüşmelerin, presentation'ların buradan da bulabileceğiz tahmin ediyorum. YouTube'dan bulabileceğiz büyük ihtimalle. Ama şu anda tabii canlı dinlemek, eğer İngilizce biliyorsanız gerçekten çok daha
Evet, çok etkileyiciydi. Çok teşekkürler Ali Bey. Emeğinize sağlık.
Emeklerine sağlık Ali. Sen de bu imkanı bizlere sağladığın için çok teşekkür ediyoruz sana da.
rica ederim. Yani ben tabii telefonu tutarken biraz elim yoruldu. Onun haricinde bir sorunum olmadı. En öne oturdum zaten. Rahat
Evet.
rahat gösterebileyim diye. Umarım ses falan, görüntü iyi geliyordu.
Gayet güzeldi. Anlaşılırdı. Anlaşılır ve gayet güzeldi. Görüntü de güzeldi. Emeklerine sağlık, eline sağlık diyorum. Ali, çok sağ ol. Teşekkür ediyoruz.
İsterseniz siz de birkaç dakika dinlenin Ali Bey.
Efendim, bir daha söyler misin?
İsterseniz siz de birkaç dakika dinlenin. Hem eliniz kolunuz hem belki bir şeyler içmek istersiniz.
Evet. Şimdi yani yerimden kalksam yerimi kaybederim diye şey yapıyorum ama yani dışarı çıkıp bir hava almak isterim. Beni görüntüyü backstage alırsanız belki açık tutarım. Sonra
Tamam.
tekrar başladığında tekrar devam ederiz.
Tamam, öyle yapalım. Siz de biraz dinlenmiş olun.
Tamam.
Evet Aysun Hanım, çok verimli bir canlı yayın oldu aslında.
Bence de yani o şu anda festivalin organizatörlerinden daha önce biz yayınlama imkanı bulduk.
Evet, Dave Murphy de bizim herhalde canlı yayında olduğumuzu hissetti. Uzattıkça uzattı ama güzel oldu.
Dilerim Ali Bey müsait bir fırsat bulur. Dave Murphy de kısa bir iletişim kurar Düz Dünya Akademisi ile bu akşam. Ama ileriki dönemlerde belki programı bile katılabilir diye düşünüyorum.
İnşallah yani ben de çok isterim. Güzel bir röportaj yapmayı veya canlı yayında bizimle tekrar bizim sorularımızla veya onun anlatacaklarınla düz dünyayı nasıl bir anahtar olduğunu herkese duyurmasını isterim. Harika bir şey olur.
Evet, bence de. Bu arada hem şu anda canlı dinleyen ve İngilizce konusunda belki sıkıntısı olan arkadaşlar olabilir. Uygun ilk fırsatta tabii ki Ali Bey ağırlıkla ve ben tercüme yapıp bu yayını paylaşacağız. Veya kısa bir özet geçebiliriz konuşmayı. Şu anda tam ne şekilde bir tercüme olur emin değilim ama onu da önümüzdeki günlerde bu yayının altına ekleyeceğiz. Onu da haber vermiş
İnşallah.
olalım.
İnşallah. Bu arada Deniz Hanım da, Deniz Kaya'nın da başından beri izlediğini, yazamadığını, yayının çok güzel geçtiğini ve Dave Murphy'yi canlı izleyebilmenin gerçekten çok güzel olduğunu vurgulamış. Teşekkür ediyoruz kendisine. Bu saatlere kadar izleyen tüm izleyicilerimize de teşekkür ediyoruz. Sanıyorum 5 dakikalık bir ara verildi. Bir mola verildi.
Evet,
devam
evet.
ederse biz de devam edelim.
Yani bence de şu anda yayını kapatmamız çok makul değil. Eğer Ali Bey için uygun ve daha hala oradan bize yayın paylaşabilirse canlı olarak burayı da açık
Evet.
tutabiliriz. Ali Bey de tabii yoruldu. Hem telefonu elinde tutuyor, aynı zamanda dinliyor. Dedik birkaç dakika o da dinlenmiş olsun.
Evet, harika olur. Bu arada yayınla ilgili yorum yapmak isteyen var mı konuşmacılarımızdan? Onu da soralım.
Ben de çok beğendim. Güzeldi. Çok farklı konulara da değindi. Açıklayıcıydı.
Genel anlamda manipülasyonu anlattı zaten ağırlık olarak. İnsan zihnini nasıl manipüle olduğunu, nasıl çalıştığına dair daha teknik bilgiler. Yani düz dünyadan ziyade insanların aslında algılarını nasıl ilerlediğini anlatıyor. Bu en önemli detaylar zaten. Her zamanki başı çeken insanlar, emeği geçen insanlar, bu konuda da en eskilerinden Dave Murphy.
Ve çok etkileyici örnekler kullanarak her konuda aynen sizin dediğiniz gibi müthiş anlattı algıyı.
Mizahı da çok güzel kullanıyor. Yani nerede nasıl vurgu yapacağını mizahla çok güzel anlatıyor.
Evet. İkinci bölümde düz dünyayı anlatacaktır diye düşünüyorum. Çünkü öncelikle yapılmış olan manipülasyonu çökertti. Şimdi manipülasyon sonucu bize anlatılan küre dünyayı ve düz dünyayı anlatacaktır diye düşünüyorum. Bizim yarım kalan bir muhabbetimiz vardı.
Tamam. İstersen oradan devam edelim. Ali hazır olana kadar. Yusuf sunumunu tamamlayabilirsin. Yarım kalmıştı. Doğru söylüyorsun.
Sana link attım hocam.
Tamam.
Çünkü
Ben
bilgisayar
hemen
başında
o linki açayım ve paylaşayım.
Senin bir görselin vardı hatırlarsan. NASA uzaydan çektik dediği görsel.
Aa, evet. Evet.
Tutulma anıyla alakalı.
Hı.
Ayın 19'unda yayınlamışlardı değil mi hocam onu?
Evet. 19'unda yayınlandı. 14'ünde kayıt almışlar. 19'unda yayınlamışlar.
Süper. Pekala.
Peki bu gönderdiğin linkteki dakikayı falan da açayım mı?
Alta
Yoksa?
yazdım.
Hı,
O
onu mu
dakikayı
açayım?
açmam lazım. O
Tamam,
dakika olsun.
Okey, tamam. Onu da açalım hemen. Şimdi şöyle yapacağım. Hemen buldum ve buradan paylaşıyorum.
Orada durdur.
Hı.
İzleyicilerimizin dikkat etmesi gereken bir husus var.
Hı.
Ekranı ver, ben sana oynat diyeceğim. Sen de oynatacaksın Uğurcuğum.
Evet. Hemen geldim oraya. Evet. Burada durdurdum.
Tamam. Şimdi bu dakikalar da
evet,
tutulmanın olmadığı anlar. Yeni başlamış. Şimdi
evet,
tam ekran yap ve izleyelim.
tamam,
Hatta yarım x'e getirirsen onu sesini
tamam,
kısarak daha ağır izleyelim.
tamam. Hemen sesini kapattım. Tamamen kapattım.
Tamam.
Ses gerekli mi?
Yok, hiç gerekli değil.
Tamam. Çalma hızını da 0.5'e getirdim.
Güzel.
Evet,
Başladı.
oynatıyorum.
Hı. Bir daha tıklaman lazım. Evet.
Durdum. Devam edeyim mi?
Buyur. Devam et. Devam et.
Evet, devam ediyorum.
Hı. Şimdi gelecek. Bak.
Geldi.
Dur.
Evet.
Bakın. Nereden çektikleri ortaya çıktı mı? Tutulma olmadan önce. Devam edelim. Devam
Ediyoruz.
edelim. Bak.
Bu da videosu.
Dur.
Evet. Bu da videosu. Harika.
Gördün mü?
Çok güzel yakalamışsın. Bravo.
Tutulma olmadan önce bir de senin gösterdiğin görsele gel. Arkadaşlarımız aradaki farkı bir görsünler.
Evet. Çok güzel.
Acaba
Çok güzel yakalamış.
NASA'nın yakalamış olduğu, çekmiş olduğu o fotoğrafla bu animasyon aynı değil mi?
Tamam. Şimdi o zaman şöyle yapalım.
Animasyon olmayan muhabbetini o yüzden ben dile getirdim.
Hı.
Ve bütün benim yapmış olduğum sonundaki görseller hepsi NASA'nın yayınladığı Güneş tutulması videosunda var. 1 saat 50 dakikalık video. Bu videonun da linki açıklamalarda var arkadaşlar. Dakika alın inceleyin. Daha neler vardır Allah bilir. Benim gözüme böyle hızlıca çarpan şeyler bunlardı.
Evet. Çok güzel yakalamışsın. Şimdi diğer görsele geçiyorum hemen. Bunu kapattım.
Süper.
Bunu kapattım. Hemen onu da paylaşayım. İzleyicilerimiz onu da görsünler. Evet. Tüm ekran, ikinci ekran paylaş. Evet. Bu da bizim görsel. Sosyal medyada yayınlanan görsel.
Evet.
Harika.
Kısmetse ben bu videoyu indireceğim. Yarım kaldığı için araya DEVAM girdi.
Evet.
O yüzden ikisini birleştirip bir video yapıp kısaltacağım ve izleyicilere bunu sunacağım. Yani NASA'nın ne kadar hilebaz bir kurum olduğunu görün diye.
Evet. Çok güzel.
teşekkür
Bu
ederim.
arada biz teşekkür ediyoruz. Bu detayları yakalaman çok güzel oluyor. Hani ben neredeyse 10-15 tane detay yakalamıştım. Sen de yakaladın. Biz bunu izlersek yüzlerce detaya ulaşabileceğiz galiba.
Şimdi bu yapmış oldukları yayın haftalardır üzerine çalıştıkları görüntüler var.
Hı hı.
Sanki canlıymış gibi insanlara 1 saat 50 dakikalık film izlettiriyorlar.
Evet.
Araya sadece güneş tutulması için koymuş oldukları 2 farklı lokasyondaki canlı yayın ekiplerini bize izlettirdiler. Ve
Yusuf Bey,
geri kalan
zaten
hep
NASA gibi bu kadar büyük bütçeye sahip bir kurumun 14'ünde gerçekleşen tutulmayı 5 gün sonra yayınlaması da biraz acayip değil mi?
NASA 5 gün sonra yayınlamadı zannedersem ama şöyle bir detay var. Yani daha tutulma olmadan sen bir animasyon oynatıyorsun ve o
Hı hı.
animasyondan bir kare alıp insanlara 5 gün sonra diyorsun ki biz bunu çektik.
Evet, algı var yani. Algı var.
Hı hı. Peki sormazlar mı adama? Bu fotoğrafı çeken uydunun gölgesi dünyanın üzerine düşmüyor mu?
Evet. Burada ISS'ten çektiklerini, tutulmayı gördüklerini iddia ediyorlar ki NASA Live yazıyor şu an.
Evet.
Bu da enteresan. Bu da enteresan.
Ve bundan birkaç dakika önce de NASA'dan da canlı yayınına bağlanıyorlar. Farkındaysan.
Evet. Burada da işte evet.
Bir de burada şeyin algısını yapıyorlar. İnsanların çok uzun mesafeli radyo görüşmeleri var. Uzak mesafelerde. Onun nasıl işlediğiyle dair yine bir yalan manipülasyon bilgiler veriyorlar.
Evet. Bir de başta da bunu konuşmuştuk aslında. Yani ortam kararmadığı halde kararmış bir görüntü vermeleri de çok büyük bir olay. Yani Ali Duman
Tabii.
oradaydı.
Şengün
Bizlerden...
Bey, Ali Bey'den mesaj gelmişti, hatırlatayım. Buyurun.
Ha, öyle mi? Ben hemen
Beni
o zaman...
aşağıya alabilirsin Şengün Hocam.
Tamam.
Ben çünkü
Hemen...
çıkmak zorundayım.
Tamam.
Herkese
Teşekkür
hayırlı
ediyoruz
geceler
Yusuf.
diliyorum.
Teşekkür ediyoruz katkılarından dolayı. Hemen Ali'yi aldım. Ali merhaba. Ali merhaba.
Merhaba. Merhaba tekrar.
Devam ediyoruz sanıyorum.
Devam ediyoruz.
So what, for instance, he was just about to die. There's no escape for him. And he just so happens to have a winding handle in his pocket. And that winding handle just so happens to fit the window winder thing and he got out. Yeah? Notice that he was really panicking and he stopped and went, it's a game. It's a game. And then he remembered the winding handle. Yeah? Thing is that, you know, for this, you know, in this world, there has to be challenge. There has to be adversity. You know, the game of snakes and ladders isn't fun without the snakes. There has to be challenge. Otherwise, it's not interesting. Yeah? And the other thing is that this game, this world, is cyclical. If you are having the best time of your life, what's coming next?
Yeah.
The fall. And when you're at the lowest point, what's next? You're back up again. It's a cycle, right? So, you know, you saw him there. He thought he was going to die. The worst moment of his life. It's just about to end. Yeah. So the point is, it doesn't matter how dire the circumstances. You know how deadly it seems to be. Yeah. There'll always be a window winder somewhere. Yeah. That's the game. Find the window winder. Yeah. Me and my wife used to play a game, Crash Bandicoot. Anybody remember that?
Yeah!
Right, so really enthusiastic. So one day we got to a point where there was a massive chasm and we were trying to, to jump across it. And there was no way to jump across it. We tried double jumping, tried running and jumping, tried bouncing off the walls. Nothing worked. Kept falling down the hole. Right? And after 3 days, I was like, right? My 3-year-old son picked up the controller. Right? He jumped on a brick that I didn't see in the wall and ran across the wall and across. The point is, the game designer wouldn't put an unjumpable, impossible sort of chasm, right, and end the game in the middle of the game. There always has to be a solution, right? The game is find the solution, right? Don't get stuck in the, oh no, I can't get over it. There's always a solution. There's always a window winder somewhere, yeah? So I'm going to give you a few tools that you already have, but tools that you can use to find the window winder. The first one, reprogram your mind. Reprogram your mind. Okay. So who you think you are is a set of memories that you decided to hang on to and have an opinion about. Okay. So whenever you make a decision, whether it's a tiny little decision or a massive one, you literally go through that set of memories and decide what that set of memories is going to do, okay? And unfortunately, what that does, it means you end up doing the same things over and over again. You meet the same sort of people, have the same sort of experience, and keep saying, why does this always happen to me? Yeah? It's because this set of memories is driving you. Me and my brother were about the same age. We're a year apart in age. So we've had pretty much the same experiences. But one year, when I was 13, my mum made us both a pair of jeans each. She's really good at making clothes, but she's a bit forgetful. So she forgot she'd only tacked in the zip. Yeah? So I took my jeans on a trip to France with the school. Halfway over on the ferry, my zip burst open, yeah? It wasn't just a little bit, it was like, whoa! Yeah? And everybody was like, ha, ha! And they're all laughing at me, and so I kind of got up and I went, come on girls, I'm open, like that. And somebody found a safety pin, we all had a chuckle, and it was all over. My brother took his jeans on a trip to Wales to the school. Same thing happened to him. And to this day, he counts that as the most embarrassing moment of his life. So me and him might be walking towards a situation that might have a little bit of an embarrassment factor to it. I'm going to go through my memories and hit that one and go, that was quite funny, wasn't it? And I'm going there. My brother's going to go and hit the same memory and he's going to go, no, I'm swerving that one. Yeah? These memories drive you around. Does that make sense? Yeah? So what I do for people, who find themselves stuck in a rut or they're depressed or anything like that, being suicidal actually, I get them to do a bit of homework. Has anybody seen this film regarding Henry? Yeah? So it's a Harrison Ford film, and what happens in the first scene, he's on the phone complaining about a table that's delivered to his house. He's saying it's an ugly table. It looks like a turtle. Why do you sell such an ugly table to anybody? Get it out of my house or I'm going to sue you. The next scene, he goes to the shop and he gets shot in the head. And he loses his memory. And he's in hospital for months and he's allowed to go home after a few months. But he still hasn't got his memory. So this is with him when he goes back home. Hopefully you can hear it.
This is home.
I remember the smell.
I don't smell anything.
Let's see.
So do you catch that? Nice table. Yeah? He no longer had the memories that told him he didn't like that table. So in that moment, he was free to make his own decision about it. Okay? This is the thing, these memories drive us. What I get people to do is listen to their self-talk. Right? That voice that's always chattering in the back of your head. Probably right now going, what's this bloke talking about? Yeah? Normally it's talking negatively about you. Right? But I want you to actually listen to this voice. Because it's always there, and so you don't really pay any mind. But listen to the voice. And when you actually listen to the voice, you'll start to get a theme, or you'll actually maybe even link it to something that happened to you when you were a child. Because what it is, it's a child program created for you by a child that suffers some kind of trauma. And this is a program to stop you experiencing that trauma ever again. Okay? And it will protect you to death if it has to. Right? So what I get people to do is to listen to their self-talk and parent yourself as a child. So imagine that this voice is a child, standing in front of you, saying, I feel like crap, blah, blah, blah, blah, I don't feel right, no, whatever the story is, okay? As an adult, you know what to say to that child, don't you? Don't you? Yeah. Oh, for crying out loud. Right, yeah, you know what to say to that child, right? Now, the new age way is to, say affirmations, I am strong, I am powerful, I don't need you, I don't, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. That's like shouting down a child. That child might wander away, but he's going to come back later, sooner or later, yeah? So if you parent that child, right, that child will learn and realise it's no longer necessary. So I had this experience. I was working in an eco-village, and a whole group of us were tasked to build a kitchen. And one morning I was the first one in the kitchen, and I'm working away. And an hour later, I'm still the only one in the kitchen working away. And, in my head I could hear, why am I the only bastard working? It's always me. It's always me. I think they're all lying around having beers and sitting on the grass, and I'm working away on it. I was thinking, wow, he sounds angry. Why is that? So I sat back, and I'm still working. I sat back and I listened to this voice while I was working. And the first thing that happened to me was, hang on, if I'm listening to this voice, who's the voice? I thought it was me, but I'm over here. Right? And because I mentally separated myself from that voice, because normally I think it's me, but I separated myself from that voice. I realized I wasn't having the emotional response to that voice. Normally I'd get angry because the voice is angry, yeah? And it would spill out into the world, and the first person who come in would get the full brunt of it, yeah? But this time I was separate from it, and I could hear him being angry, but I wasn't angry. And this bit usually takes a little longer. As I was listening to it, I realized where that voice came from. Because I was the firstborn in my family, right? So I had a brother and two sisters, and all around about the same age, yeah? So when we all went out to play, if something got broken, who was responsible? It was me. So if my brother broke something or got in trouble, it was my fault. Why is it always me? That was that phrase, that's where it came from. Why is it always me? Okay? And because now I realise, as an adult, I could say to that child, your parents gave you responsibility because they thought you could handle it. They thought you were responsible enough to look after your brother and sisters. It wasn't a bad thing, it was a good thing. And now I can see that. I can teach that to a child. Now that program no longer needs to be there. Does that make sense? Yeah. So next thing you can do is change your data processing rate. So what do I mean by your data processing rate? Well, reality turns out to be literally a series of static frames of reality, okay? Like a 3D film script, okay? And those frames of reality are going past so quickly that we think of it as smooth movement. But literally, they're static frames of, you know, and then that one disappears and the next one, just everyone's slightly moved a little bit, and so on and so on. And so, yes, they're moving by really quickly. We think of it as smooth movement, okay? It turns out there is actually a smallest amount of time, 10 to the minus 44 seconds. So trillions and trillions of times a second, these frames of reality are flashing past, okay? Now, we sample those frames of reality at a rate of 60 hertz, 60 times a second. I don't think it's a coincidence that, you know, over here, your electrical signal is based on 60 hertz. There's something going on there, yeah? Okay? But 60 times a second, you sample reality. Now, a housefly, samples reality at 250 times a second. So when he goes to swat a fly, you're like this. Whoa. And the fly's like, oh, he's trying to swat me. Oh, let's swim. Okay, you know what? I'm going to let him think he's doing really well. Oh, you're going to get me? Hey, get me. Ah, denied. Yeah? Because for the fly, time is moving a lot slower because they're sampling a lot faster. Well, you have that ability. You have the ability to change the rate that you process time or events, so time moves a lot slower for you. You don't believe me? Anybody ever been in an accident? And in that moment, that split second before you hit whatever it is, time just stretches out. And you seem to have a lot of time to think about what's going on. I had an accident just like this when I was 21. And I remember in that split second before I hit the car, I was looking at the woman and she was like, and I was looking at the car, I was thinking, I can't lean past it, I can't brake fast enough, I'm going out with that car. I better look for somewhere nice to land, you know? But all that in one split second. So as an emergency response, yeah, your body basically starts to process time a lot faster, like the housefly, yeah? So it's allowing you to look for ways to escape death. It's an emergency response. But if you've got this emergency response, then there's a way to consciously trigger this, okay? This also happens if you're a racing driver.
What are you doing?
See that crack? That's my marker for turn 8.
What, to slow down?
Brush the brakes and downshift.
Well, you'll be going 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So how do you see it?
You go fast, but as the car speeds up, everything else slows down. You don't do that. You do this, right? And then you see everything.
So if you're a racing driver, you're actually in danger every moment that you're going at 250 miles an hour. So your body thinks you're going to die. So, you know, as you said, the faster you go, the slower things move. Okay? Which has to happen if, you know, you're going 250 miles an hour, when you see something on the horizon, it's next to you in the next moment, yeah? So yes, this is an emergency response. But one day, when I was researching something, I found out some amazing information. I can't remember what it is now, but something really amazing. I was in that daze. I was walking around a shopping centre in this daze going, wow, this is amazing. And all these people, they don't know all this. And as I looked at people, they were moving around slowly. I thought, what's going on? And a bird sort of flew past and it was flapping its wings slowly. And I was seeing all this detail, all these little things, like a little bug was crawling along the side of the road, and there's a bird on a fence ruffling his feathers and stuff. But I saw all this detail, and then it snapped back into normal reality. Yeah. But just for a moment, I experienced that, almost consciously. And I think with practice, we can do this. Yeah. And I tried to do it, I actually succeeded to an extent. But again, I was in a shopping centre. I'm just walking along, and I decided to just slow everything down. So I slowed all my movements down. Not to look like an idiot, but, just slow everything down. Slowed my breathing down. Tried to slow my heart rate down. I don't know if I could do that consciously, but I just slowed everything down and just started looking at the detail. And literally, for a moment, everything slowed down again. Right? We can do this consciously. This is useful information if you're looking for a window winder. Yeah? Just giving you tools. So the next thing you can do is create your reality. Okay? We're here to experience this reality and have whatever experience we want to have. Right? So I want you to imagine a cell in your hand. Imagine that cell in your hand. And now one day that cell's like, first of all, that cell is a living organism, right, that can live in its own right. You can take that cell out, put it in a petri dish, and it will live. It will go towards something that's good and stay away from anything that's bad. Okay? It also thinks it's you, okay, because it's a living, conscious being. And maybe one day that cell might go, oh, I need some salt. There's no salt around here. I kind of need salt. Where's the salt? If I don't get salt, I'm going to die. Where's the salt? Where's the salt? Where's the salt? And eventually that's going to percolate up to you. You might go, oh, I fancy anchovies tonight. And all of a sudden that soul will be going, wow, what a coincidence. I'm dying for salt, and all of a sudden all this salt appears. How does that happen? Yeah? It's because that cell is part of a larger whole. And when that cell needs something, the body is going to provide it. You are all parts of a larger whole. And just like the cell doesn't, the cell in my hand doesn't know what I look like, we're not aware of the larger body that we're a part of. But believe me, if you need something, the body is going to provide it. Yeah?
Hallelujah.
Sorry? Did you say?
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Indeed. Has anybody ever manifested a car parking space? Does it work? Yes, okay. And I'm going to tell you how it works in a minute, but, you have affected the world by asking for that car parking space. It sounds like a trivial thing, but you've literally reached out with your intention and changed something so that car parking space is empty when you get to it. Okay? It happens also if you decide to buy a car. As soon as you decide to buy a car, you say, I want a red Ford Fiesta. Yeah? What's the next thing that's going to happen?
See them everywhere.
You're going to see them everywhere. Everywhere you look, you're going to see a red Fiesta. It's not that now you're attuned to red Fiestas. When you see one, you go, oh, there's one. No. Statistically, more red Fiestas are going to start presenting themselves to you. Yeah? It's like, the Most High is going, what about this one? Oh, what about this one? What about this one? Yeah? You are doing this. Now, they've done experiments with random number generators, where they get a meditator to, meditate on a computer that's going to spit out a series of ones and zeros. Okay, so if it spits out 1,000 numbers, 500 roughly are going to be ones and 500 roughly are going to be zeros. They get a meditator to meditate on more zeros and ones. When they look at the results, significantly more zeros and ones. But it's not bound in time either. This is a freaky bit. They can get the computer to run a sequence of numbers, seal the results into an envelope without looking at them, and then 10 years later, give it to a meditator and say, concentrate on more ones and zeros. And when they open it up, significantly more ones and zeros, even though it's run 10 years ago. Okay? Has anybody come across this idea of Schrodinger's cat?
Yeah.
Right, Schrodinger's cat, for anyone who doesn't know, imagine a box that's got a vial of poison in it, and there's a trigger mechanism that's unreliable, so you don't know if it's going to trigger or not. Okay? You put that in a box, and you put a cat in the box. and put the lid over it. While that lid is over the box, that cap is in an indeterminate state. It is both dead and alive, because you don't know if that trigger has gone off or not. So it's both dead and alive. It only resolves into one or the other when you look at it. Then you know which one it is. Okay? So we go back to this idea of like a car parking space. Yeah, you want a particular car parking space. Well, let's make it. Okay, you're searching for some information. Right? Has anybody had this? You're searching for information, and then somebody walks past and tells you it. Anybody? Yeah. Okay, so let's imagine that situation. So we've got John here, right? He's going to be the one asking, for some information, right? And we've got Bob, who's got the answers. Okay. Under normal circumstances, John and Bob will miss each other by about an hour in this particular spot. Okay. Now let's imagine John is asking a question. So, and I forgot to mention this. This is a bit of setup I forgot to tell you. Throughout your life, you have Schrodinger's cat moments, right? There's moments of uncertainty. So when you go to make a decision, right, just before you make that decision, there's this Schrodinger's cat moment. Yeah. So, like, it could be something important, like if you're going to move or not, or it could be something like, what am I going to have for breakfast? So the choice might be a banana or some cereal. Okay. So in that moment, there's some uncertainty. Normally, in this circumstance, Bob might have cereal. But as soon as John asks this question, he reaches into Bob's timeline to a Schrodinger's cat moment. What does he have for breakfast? And he affects that. So now Bob has a banana for breakfast, which means he goes to the shops, wherever it is you're going, 5 minutes earlier, okay? And so when you pull up, he's pulling out. Does that make any sense? Yep. Have I lost everybody? No, I think that's because the Most High seems to work in the uncertainty, yeah? This is just like what I'm talking about with a quantum computer. Going back into the past and changing a probability. We can do this naturally. We do it naturally when we ask for a car parking space or say, I want to buy a car. Right? We change probabilities so that the car we want ends up in front of us. Does that make sense now? Yeah? Okay. All we need for this is our focus. Our focus on whatever it is we want. And it's really hard because we're being taught not to have focus anymore. Our attention is split between lots of things, yeah? And, the system is giving us things to focus on, yeah? So that they can use our power against us, okay? The other thing, very quickly, this idea of the impossible. We're in a place where nothing is impossible, right? There's an apocryphal story, I think it is. I'm not sure if it's a true story or not, but the government wanted to build some kind of flying platform that didn't need wings and jet engines and stuff. Okay, and they tried to get some scientists to build this thing, and they said no, it's impossible. So they got a whole group of different scientists in, and they said, right, sit down, we're going to play you a film to watch. And I played him this film of a red-haired scientist who got onto this flying platform thing and just got on this thing and it started flying around and started doing acrobatics and stuff. It was flying around for a while and then it crashed, blew up, and the red-haired scientist died. Okay? And the film ended and this general turned to these scientists and said, right, build that. Okay? And these scientists went away and one group of them ended up building this platform, right, which was about the size of this stage, and it weighed about 2 tons, and it managed to hover about 3 inches off the ground. right? They got this thing to fly, right? Because, okay, I'm jumping ahead. They got this thing to work, and then the general said, you know, congratulations, and the door opened and the redhead scientist came in, right? They faked the film to remove the idea of impossibility from the minds of the scientist. And when they did that, now it's possible. Hope that makes sense, yeah? Right? Because it's the idea of impossibility that limits us. This man did the impossible. He ran the 4-minute mile, right? Up until he did it, it was an impossibility. But as soon as he did it, now it was possible for everybody else behind him to do the same. Every 4 years at the Olympics, there are people breaking his record every 4 years. Right? Now that he's done the impossible. And this is a book by Rupert Sheldrake called Morphic Resonance. And this is what he's discovered, that you know, if one person does something, now it's easier for the next person to do it. And then, you know, anyone who follows it gets easier and easier. It's like, you know, between me and the next town is an impenetrable forest, and everybody's forced to walk around the forest. But there's somebody one day who decides to hack his way through, and he, you know, finally manages to get all the way through. The next person who walks past goes, "Oh, looks like there's a way through there," and they start going through. Okay, and then that pathway widens, and then soon it's not just a pathway, now it's a road, and then a motorway. Yeah, so the more somebody, as soon as somebody does the impossible, it's now easier for others to follow. In fact, his son, this is the same over here. When the children sit their exams, all the children in the country, this is what happens in England, all the children in the country sit at the same moment for their exams. No? Okay. Well, in England, that's what happens. When it's exam time, everybody sits their exams at the same time. So Rupert Sheldrake's son worked out that if they were to, him and his friends were to do the last questions first, so last 5 questions first, then go back to the first ones, by the time they go back to the first ones, everybody in the country has done them. So now they can take advantage of the morphic resonance, and you know, and this is what happened. And they ended up with higher than usual scores, because that's how the world actually works, right? Again, I'm giving you little tools to play with, okay? One other thing you can do is find your purpose. We're all here, we've all got a purpose, right? By the very nature, because, you know, only you see through your eyes here and now. So only you have this unique perspective on the world that nobody who has ever lived, who will ever live, will ever have. Consequently, you can think things that nobody else can ever think. You can say things that nobody else will ever say. Yeah? You can say things that will change the world. But they want you to be like everyone else. Yeah? Thinking in the same way, doing the same things as everyone else. Right? And if you refuse to be yourself, right, they're going to adopt you into the hive mind, and you're going to use your power to drive their agenda. Yeah? But if you become your own person and be you, well, you can have an effect on the world. Has anybody heard of the bystander effect? Yep. Yeah? If somebody was to fall over in the street, most people's programming is to step around them, pretend not to see them, you know, step over them even, yeah? Until that one person goes, "Are you okay?" And then everybody can break their programming now and all join in. Has anyone seen that? Yeah? It's a real thing. That one person who broke their programming and became themselves and said, "Can I help?" allowed everybody else, that change rippled out and affected everybody else. Yeah? So I'm lucky because I had a friend of mine do a little process on me to find my purpose. So he got me to lie down and get comfortable. He said, imagine an atmospheric place. So I imagined a teepee with a fire in the middle and logs around the fire. And he said, okay, describe in detail. So I did. And while I was describing it, he interrupted me. He said, somebody's come in. Who is it? So immediately in my mind, a friend of mine, dressed as an Indian medicine woman, came in and she sat down on a log opposite me, opposite the fire. My friend said, ask her whatever you want. So I asked her what my purpose here is. And without missing a beat, she said, to help and inspire by just being you. I thought, I can do that. I know how to be me. But you know what? I think that's, to one extent, everyone's purpose. I think I was gypped. Yeah? we're all here to help and inspire by just being ourselves. Yeah? The opposite of courage is not cowardice. It's conformity. It's being afraid of being you. Yeah? I said, if you be you, right, you ripple out your changes, ripple out. Okay? So one thing you can do, right, do a process just similar to what I did. Right? So sit down in a comfortable chair. Right? Just close your eyes for a few minutes and quietly contemplate this idea. What am I here to do? And when you're ready, open your eyes and say out loud, what is my purpose? And without hesitating, with 2 sheets of paper in front of you, start writing anything. Anything that comes to your head. And if you start hesitating, just write any old rubbish. Yeah? Anything that comes in, just keep writing. And as quickly as you can until you fill all 4 sides. Okay? But the key thing is you don't stop. When you finish, somewhere on that piece of paper, on these 2 pieces of paper, is your purpose. And if it's not explicitly said, then look at the theme of everything, and you'll find your purpose is that theme. Does that make sense? Yeah? It's just a way of getting yourself out of the way of your subconscious. The subconscious doesn't want to volunteer any information, but you can trick it into telling you stuff. Okay? Just like my friend got me to ask my subconscious directly. Yeah? So, navigating the matrix is easy. You have a compass right here. It tells you how to navigate this game. Yeah? So, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. I'm a Firefly fan. Anybody a Firefly fan? Yeah? Yeah. So, this quote is from the captain. Remember to always be yourself, unless you suck. So, they're trying to get us to believe that we live in a cold, harsh, survival-based dog-eat-dog world, yeah? But it's not true. It's a carefully crafted illusion. You know, we're all flat earthers here, so, you know, we live in a terrarium. Right? Every drop of water that's ever been is still here. Yeah? Every scrap of energy we've ever used is still here in one form or another. Everything is cyclical. You know, there's never any scarcity. It's always abundance. It's just an illusion. Okay?
Evet, maalesef Ali Duman'ın şarjı bitti galiba arkadaşlar. Yayında beni uyarmıştı, mesaj göndermişti. Şarjım çok az kaldı diye. Sanıyorum şarjı bittiğinden dolayı bu güzel konferansı bu kadar dinleyebildik. Ali'nin de belirttiği gibi bunu daha sonra video haline getirip altyazıyla Türkçe olarak izleyebilme şansınız var. Bu saatlere kadar bizleri izleyip bu güzel yayını takip ettiğiniz için çok teşekkür ediyorum herkese. Artık yavaş yavaş kapatalım. Yaklaşık 2 saat 44 dakikalık bir yayın oldu. Herkese yorumlarından dolayı çok teşekkür ediyorum. Kalın sağlıcakla, düz kalın diyorum arkadaşlar.